Welcome back to day 2 of Compositing 101 with Aaron Nace here on Creative Live. We're excited to get back into it and start making people levitate and attack them with laundry, but first, we gotta give away a prize. So we are going to give away a Lowepro Photo Hatchback 16L. Do you want to talk about Lowepro a little bit?
Yeah, basically when I came from Chicago to Seattle, basically I locked up all of my gear in my Lowepro Vertex AW300 bag, which I've had for 3 years. I think we're getting one of those away tomorrow.
We are.
And since I started photography, that's all I've ever put my equipment in. And I trust them, and they're great. So, love Lowepro.
We also love Lowepro here. So that is a $100 value. So thank you very much to Lowepro for that. And the winner of it is Michael Porterfield. Michael's Twitter handle is at low ISO high hopes. That's a good one.
That's really good.
That's really cool. And the quote that he submitted was, "If you can have the fun and do crazy things, why not do it?"
There we go.
Which is what this photography is all about. So take it over.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Well, we're going to start off, we've got some really exciting things to do here in this segment. We're actually going to start like bringing everything to life. But this is a class on frame compositing. And what that means is we want a lot of options here. We want a heck of a lot of options when it comes to actually getting our final image. So what we're going to start off doing is we don't have any of our models on set, except for Lee. She is on set because she's very punctual. But we're going to just actually take a couple frames with them off. So Lee, if you wouldn't mind, would you mind stepping off set for real quick? There we go. And here what we can do is make sure we have all of the elements that we need, and we can just kind of have a lot of options right now. So in the end, what we are planning on doing is removing this stool and removing the almost clean laundry detergent and taking maybe this basket and that basket away and things like that. So what we want to do is I want to start off with a blank set. So given that the camera doesn't move and our lighting is all set up how we want it to be set up for the final shot, what I want to do is now like take a couple shots and keep like a blank canvas. Now what is important is that we keep everything in about the same place. So if we can get a little bit of tape, John, do we have like some blue tape or anything like that so we can kind of mark the position? Now most of this stuff isn't that important. This wastebasket or the chair, that's not really that important. But where we're going to have Sean wind up levitating, that is a little bit important where that's going to go. So we're just going to use a little bit of blue tape here. Before we move this, I'm just going to place this right underneath our object there. There we go. And that's going to be that object. And then the rest of it can be kind of moved out. This is not going to wind up being there. So we'll move that out. We'll take out the laundry detergent, and even the laundry basket can come out. These things can go out as well. So what we're doing now is basically building ourselves a blank set in which, you know, we can figure out how would this set look like with nothing on it. I'm even going to close this the door here, and we're going to take a couple shots with this door open and closed in a few different configurations. So basically, when I need to composite these back together, we're going to be doing some levitation in just a little bit, but I don't want that stool in there. So when I'm going to need to, you know, have that frame without the stool in it, now's the perfect time to go ahead and do it. We've got our lighting dialed in, we've got everything figured out. So we can take some of these shots without all these elements in there, so we'll have them for reference later. You can do this before you start shooting the action or after. Before is never a bad idea because you won't forget about it. Sometimes you'll get done shooting the action and you'll be like, oh, I'm exhausted. All right, let's wrap, and everyone goes home and they start moving stuff and you're like, oh wait, I didn't take pictures with this stuff gone, and then, you know, you kind of like ruin that opportunity that you would have had, and then you have like, you know, 17 hours of clone stamping ahead of you. So instead of doing that, what we're gonna do is basically just take some pictures. The camera's still on the same settings, still manual focus, still, you know, same aperture and everything like that. And so what we should have is basically just a blank slate, and we can see it up here. Now over lunch break, I decided to change one more thing. So we can see, there we go. I decided to change one more thing, but I haven't changed it yet. And that's our exposure here in the lamp, because the lamp isn't winding up providing a ton of light here in our set. It's just a little bit overexposed. I think the exposure could come down. So I'm just gonna lower the exposure of this real quick. Alec, do you wanna pop off another frame here for me? I'm just gonna kind of step off the camera there, and we're gonna look to see if that winds up being properly exposed a little bit better. All right, and if not, we can always lower it down a little bit. Looks like that did absolutely nothing, so let's go ahead and lower it down a little bit more. All right, let's try it again. So this is one of those things where this is kind of like the boring part of a photo shoot, but for this type of compositing and the work we're doing here, it's entirely necessary and really important. All right, and we'll see when that loads up. There we go. So and we can choose to like make that brighter or darker or however we want it. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to make it just a little bit brighter, and I am going to put a gel right in front of here. Because in this case, all I'm really worried about is right here. I don't really care about any part of the other frame. So I'm going to put a gel right in front of our lens, in front of the, in front of our light here, and that's just going to warm that up in color a little bit. Want to pop it again? Just make sure I'm not in frame. There we go. And hopefully we'll get like kind of a yellowish color coming through here. And these are just color gels. This is a color temperature orange gel. It's a quarter CTO, and you can fold it over and make it a little bit brighter, or you can fold it over again. Sorry, not brighter, a little bit more color. We can see we have even more color now. So these are relatively inexpensive, and they can add some interest into your photos. Let's bring our power up just a little bit more. There we go. And we'll pop that off again. There we go. And hopefully this is going to actually come up and wind up giving us some color in there. There we go. So we can see this is warmed up a little bit more, and it doesn't look overexposed in this case. So that's basically it. We're going to put this back, and now we can call our subjects back into the frame. All right. Lee, you want to come through, and then Hannah and Sean, we can come in again. So we have all of what we need now. We can bring in all of these other elements, and we don't really have to worry about, like, did we get a shot where there is actually no stool there? Because we actually already did that. So now we can focus on the cool parts. We're going to put that right back there and put the laundry basket in there and open that up. So basically what we're doing is deciding, I need all these separate elements to be in these frames. I don't remember where this was. Do you remember? It's somewhere around there, if we don't like this. And there we go. And it doesn't really matter that I'm in this frame as well, because in this particular frame that we're seeing here, the only thing that I'm going to wind up taking from it is the light that's kind of shining right there. That's really the only thing I care about that. So if that part of this image looks great, and this part of another image, and this part of another image, that's what frame compositing is all about. That's why we're going to put it together. All right. Normally during this time, I would crank up music like really loud too. We're on a broadcast, so I'm not going to do it right now. But normally during this time of the photo shoot, everything's kind of like set together, and we would just like totally have fun with it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start doing levitation. Let's just, to make double sure, you want to go ahead and do it exactly what you were doing earlier, Sean? And let's see. Can you see directly into the light here, Hannah? Perfect. There we go. And that's a good way, by the way, of having that grid there. That's a good way to make sure that she's in about the same place that she was earlier. Right. So added bonus. Right on. And 3, 2, 1. There we go. Beautiful. And let's just take a final look at this. Now, Sean, we'll have you probably not bring your foot as high, just because I think you might be blocking Lee back there. There we go. Let's pull down our exposure. Actually, come closer to the camera just a little bit. There we go. And let's take another frame here and see how we're looking now. So some people had suggestions to get Hannah a little bit larger in the shot, and so we're going to try that. And then once we get about where we want it, there we go.
And Miguel is not in the shot anymore.
Oh, there we go. It's like something has changed. Come forward towards me, Miguel, just a little bit, please. Yep, and the laundry basket. Yep. There we are. Perfect. Oh, Sean's staying balanced. Nice. It's like, yeah, I got this. I was practicing over lunch. Perfect. And let's see that we're basically right now we're getting back to where we were when we started before we took a little bit of a break. So Mike, who's operating all of the technical stuff back here, would you mind zooming in to zooming into Hannah's face, and we'll just check our exposure there and see if she's a little bit overexposed or underexposed. I think she's looking pretty good. She's definitely got a light, coming from here, and that's kind of coming from the overhead light that we're seeing right over here. So we could fill in that shadow just a little bit more. So let's bring our power up. Maybe if you could step back just a tiny bit. Oh, sorry, that way. Back, yep, towards Lee. There we go, perfect. And we'll pump this up in power just a tiny bit more. There we go. And I think we're making sure. So we're pretty much back where we started from before we left for the break, and we're ready to start shooting. Let's just do, let's see. I'm going to look at this monitor, and this is calibrated for the video cameras that are on us right now. We have another screen down here which they've provided for us, and I believe this one is more properly calibrated towards what the image will actually look like on a computer screen. It's got a little bit less contrast, so right now we're kind of like working our balance between, do I trust what's going on here or do I trust what's going on there? And I think I'm going to trust what's going on there, because that should be what I'm going to see later. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yes, okay. Very cool. And that's another great point, is where these are going to show up, you want to generally, if you are shooting tethered, like look at your computer screen, make sure to shade it. Even like a laptop screen is really not going to be that great. If you can bring like a nice color calibrated monitor on set with you, that's really the best option. So I don't really trust the back of my camera, the LCD. Usually that's going to be a little bit too contrasty and the color is going to be a little bit off. A TV like this is going to be even more contrast, especially when it's set up to be visible for the film camera. So we've got this other monitor, and that's what we're kind of trusting here. So, but the people at home should be seeing the display from here. So that's perfect. The people at home should be seeing exactly what they should be seeing. That doesn't make any sense, but we're all good to go. Okay, cool. So our lighting is in place, and I think we're good to go. So we're ready to go ahead and start the levitation. So first thing we need to do is we're going to pin some clothes to Adam. So we've got some safety pins.
Safety pins are on that table back there.
Yeah, Sean, not Adam, I apologize. All right, who wants to be the safety pin clothing person?
You want to work on it?
You can, I don't know. Julia? Yeah? There we go. All right, so basically the idea is probably not like a leather jacket or anything like that.
More clothes.
We have more clothes? Okay.
There's a basket over there.
Perfect. I'd love to use clothes that are actually yours.
Okay.
That would make it a little bit more believable. Like this blue shirt would be good, I think. And basically the idea here is that, so we're going to kind of pin some clothes to the back side of you. So thank you, Julia. Basically the idea here is that we can take this stuff and pin it to the back side of him, which is going to make it actually look like it is, well, we're going to make it look like it's kind of like bunched up and like forcing him to be moving up. So this is what's causing him to float in the air, which, I don't know, it doesn't really make that much sense, but why not? These clothes have an incredible power to make you fly in the air. Pretty cool. All right, and if this looks totally stupid, we're just going to change it up and do it slightly different. So that's the awesome part of being able to do this photo shoot. It's like, we'll try something. I think it's going to look good, but if not, we'll just change it up and do a little different.
So a quick question, and I'm sure you'll go over this tomorrow, but Checker Fred says, how do you keep the shadow from the levitating guy but still remove the stool from the image? Is that something you need to shoot differently for, or is that just all handled in post?
Good question. It's going to be handled in post. There is a little bit of an overlap. If we didn't have the shadow that was like falling right where the base of the stool was, that usually wouldn't be a big deal. If I do have to change out just that little section, a shadow is usually a change in luminosity, so it's going to be a little bit darker. It's also going to be a little bit less contrast. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that in post-production, if that's the journey that we need to go tomorrow. If there's a piece of clothing like covering it up, then that would just be fortunate, and we don't have to worry about that either. So yeah, something that we can kind of take care of here, but we can also take care of tomorrow in the computer if we need to do that. All right, cool. So pinning, and
we can take a couple more questions if you want while we're still pinning.
Yes,
or
yes.
Unless there's something else you want to be.
I am totally open for questions. We're just hanging out, waiting for some pinning action going. No pressure or anything.
So Ols Red Eye says, as critical as camera position is, wouldn't it be a good idea to use a remote or cable shutter release? Is that something you normally do?
Is a great idea. It really is a good idea. We're using Pocket Wizards in this case, the Plus 2s, and there is a cable release that you can use with the Pocket Wizard Plus 2s. For the 5D Mark II, it's just it basically goes from the camera/remote port to the shutter port on the camera. My camera bag is over there. I don't remember if I brought one with me to Seattle or not, but if you guys want to dig around in that camera bag and see if there's a shutter release cable, then we can use it. Why not? It is a really good idea. The other thing is we are shooting tethered. Actually, Mike, who's in the control booth, I think Mike can take pictures, right? Because we're shooting tethered, right? Pretty awesome. So then we're really not touching anything. So actually that's really nice. Yeah, well, if you have, hundreds of thousands of dollars of technology behind your photo shoot and someone in a control booth who can control the whole thing, then you could use that option too. So, Mike, thank you. That was awesome. And he's not even in this room when we're talking to him. That's amazing. And we might have him take some photos during this too. Why not? I'm totally open to that. Cool. What's another question?
Awesome. Another question is, well, some of our audience is just joining in on the second part of the segment right now, and they're wondering if you could refresh and go over why choosing strobe versus speed lights.
Okay, cool. Good question. And that similar question was asked earlier today. The reason why we're using the strobes, such as the Einsteins and the Alien Bees, instead of speed lights is we need a decent bit of light output from these. Not only that, but in this particular setup, we're actually using 6 different lights. Some of them are in softboxes, like this strip box that's right above us here. Might be kind of hard to make it out because there are a lot of lights here for continuous lights. But that's in a little bit larger of a lighting modifier. Some of these lights are in smaller modifiers, like we've got into a grid here, and there in the back of the room we've got a light that's basically shining directly into the wall and bouncing light around. So one of those reasons is we need a little bit more power output than most speed lights can provide, especially with our fill light right back there that's just lighting up our entire scene with a little bit of fill. So that's one reason. The second reason is we're planning today the photo shoots. It's lasted, we started off early in the morning, and we're going to be going all the way until 4 o'clock. And during that time, if you do have a lot of power output with a speed light, you're going to drain your batteries really quickly. So, basically like halfway through the shoot, we'd have to go around, change the batteries in all of our speed lights. So for a couple of those reasons, both the power output necessary, the batteries, and the modifiers that we're using, I think in this case, using strobes is a bit of a better option.
Sounds
cool. Great. Good question.
One more from LA Photo. How do you decide your workflow and what to shoot first when doing frame composites? We talked about doing it with elements yesterday, but how about for frames? What's your choice of shooting first?
Brilliant. What we just brought on is we cleared everyone off the stage, and we made sure we got a couple of blank plates. Now, just in case anything changes, I'm going to do that again at the very end. You just want to do everything to really cover yourself, because that's the whole point, is to be able to take different frames and things like that. What we want to do is build the setup to where we have a lot of what we want in the set, and that's our starting place. So we still, every frame that we've taken right now, let's say the camera hasn't moved from before lunch. Let's say one of the frames we took of Hannah was one of the ones that we wind up wanting to use in the very end. Well, providing nothing else moves, we can still use that, even though we shot it, an hour ago. In the shoot, in the next coming half an hour or an hour, we can still use that frame. If that turns out to be the best frame of the day, it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be right now. I'm hoping it will be, but it doesn't have to be. So that's the whole great part of it. So once you get most of what you want in the shot, once we get Sean levitating and it's got some clothes hanging off him and things like that, that's when we're going to start saying okay, this is where we're going to start the composite. Now let's go ahead and start bringing all these different pieces together. So I would say when the majority of it's in there, then that's when you know to start the composite, and then you can bring it all in back after. Cool, good questions. All good to go?
Looks like we're, yeah.
Right on. All right, Sean, let's see what this looks like. If you want to start levitating, there we go. And kind of come back and go ahead and do a quick levitation for me. And we're basically just going to see if this looks weird. Yeah, let's just take a picture and see what it looks like. Now the clothes are kind of hanging down. There we go. And look at each other if you could. There we go. This is a love scene. So in a minute we're going to work on emotions and making sure that this is seen as a love scene. This photo is called Love at the Wash and Suds. So, All right. So here we go. It looks a little bit like this guy is hanging out of his pocket. So we can kind of push this more around to the back side of his leg, maybe instead of having it in front. Is that okay? Perfect. There's no rules here. There's really, it's not like there's a guidebook on how to clothespin clothes to people to make them look like they're levitating. But this is a pretty good start. I think we might want to put a little bit of clothes onto the back of his shirt as well. Perfect. And what else do you guys think from the audience? The live studio audience. What do you think? Back of the knee? Oh yeah, totally, because it's lifting it up, right? Totally, I dig it.
maybe something coming right to the back of his arm, pinned to the back of his elbow. So it looks like it's kind of flying.
Flying at him. Perfect. What I want to do with this is I want to do two different things. I do want some of these clothes to be like kind of like permanently stuck to him, and that's why we're doing safety pins. But in a second, Gabe is going to come up here, and he's actually going to be throwing clothes up at Sean's back. So he's actually literally going to be throwing clothes. He's going to be like, you know, outside of the frame, like kind of crouching and throwing them in. And when they hit his back, that's when we're going to take those frames as well. So they should kind of help to define that as well. And anything that's kind of like floating in the air. You don't have any like tube socks, do you? I think that'd be funny. Does anyone in the audience have tube socks? We were like,
You mean like
the white, you know, socks with
I got
like
fluorescent ones.
yeah?
I see her pinning it right up.
Oh, the yellow, is that a sock? Oh, nice. All right, sweet. I just think it'd be funny to have like socks kind of flying around. Oh yeah, let's see what's in there. There's probably some.
I have underwear too.
You have underwear too? I saw that underwear. It's really fancy underwear.
Probably don't want to touch it.
I won't be touching it. And Gabe's like, oh, no. We're not touching that. Right on. Do we see any socks or any kind of thing?
Sheets.
Curtains and sheets and things like that.
Hey, Aaron, is there any way we can attach like line or string or something to some of the clothes to be able to pull them back so give them lateral motion?
I just sent someone to look for fishing line, but we don't know if we have it or not.
We're both brilliant, John.
Can you explain that to me a little bit, Todd?
So you take a fishing line, you tag it to like say to the end of the sleeve of his jacket, and then you would actually pull it off so that it would hang horizontally versus just hanging straight up and down
Oh, right on.
to give it some motion.
To get some motion, like it's like coming out in,
Yeah, because you're
in that way.
flying kind of, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. I think we can totally do that. Whether we do string or we could try it on a capture, or if we did pin something, you could actually move your arm and capture that motion there, because we are shooting at 1/60 of the second, and we're basically freezing our motion right now. So we could do it with string, or we could do it just by like flipping around and having fun. No socks. It's not really that big of a deal. I just thought it would be funny to have like a tube sock floating in the air right here. I didn't write that on my list, things that I wanted for this shoot. All right, how we doing? Is this the fancy underwear that we've got on the ground here? Can we get a close-up of the fancy underwear? No brand names are showing, so it's good. Right on. Cool, and I think pretty soon Gabe will be ready for you to come up if you want to and start throwing some clothes. So the whole idea is to be able to get a stream of clothing kind of coming, and this is, in the original sketch that we had, it was a little bit more of a distance between our subject and the washer, but basically we want like a stream kind of coming out of the washing machine is my idea, and then kind of like lifting him up towards here. So maybe like a bit of clothing up in here and kind of up in that way. I think it might be fun as well to get some of the clothes in the foreground. So if we had like, a little bit of clothing like kind of towards the camera, that would help to give a little bit of depth there as well. So a lot of what we're doing today is about creating that depth. We've already got Miguel here in the foreground, we've got Lee there in the background, so we really are doing a good job of creating a lot of depth in the photograph, so it doesn't look like really flat and plain and boring. All right, how we doing? Awesome. There'd be normally like loud music pumping at this point. I'm like, why is it so quiet? It's never quiet on my photo shoots. It's always crazy.
Just to let you know, we are looking for a fishing line for you.
We are looking for a fishing line.
Fishing
Cool.
line and a fan for you.
Perfect. Oh, a fan. Yeah, I think we might fan you. It's like, ooh. I like that face. Mike, can you take a picture of her ooh face? Ooh. Mike's not listening. He might be in this room.
Here.
There we go. Oh, there we got it.
That might get it.
He beat you to it. I saw it. Can we get that ooh face again? There we go. The genuine ooh face. Yeah, I like that when you're holding it too. It looks a little bit less forced, so that's really nice. We might wind up having it hold it in that way, but yeah, cool. So things like that'll evolve. If we don't have like an electric fan, I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yep, John's already ahead of me. You can totally just use a piece of foam core to actually fan someone.
Blow those things.
Yeah, actually that feels really nice. If you just want to keep doing that for a couple hours, that'd be great. It's kind of hot on this set. Miguel's like, thank you. Yeah.
You need some?
Perfect. All right, Gabe, you want to come on up? We won't have you grab any underwear or anything like that, but let's see what it looks like. So we're gonna have to try a couple of things right now because we don't know. We haven't practiced this. You know, Gabe is not a certified clothing thrower, but I feel like he'll do pretty well. A what? Oh, there's a shoe in there. We could throw a shoe. Promise to try to not hit you. Okay, yeah. So basically, the idea here is that there we go. Okay, Sean's gonna be like kind of like leaning back in place there, and as he's in place with, you know, basically just doing what the pose, the levitating pose you've been doing, I think is really great. And I think we want to throw clothes at an upward angle and relatively hard. I think, you know, like don't like, you know, knock him off the stool or anything, but like we want to make it actually look like these clothes are kind of like lifting him up, and so that force is what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna do like a countdown. I'll do a 3, 2, 1. You can throw it, and then I'll try to capture it when it's a go. And the best thing here, guys, and this is about compositing, so I'll talk to the audience about it. The best thing here is that we really, you know, Hannah's gonna do a great job, and by chance we might get a great photo of Hannah right here as this is going. But really, even if she wasn't standing there, it's really not that big of a deal. We're focused on this part of the action, and once we get that right, then we can focus on that part of the action. So that's the wonderful part about frame compositing is we can focus on one thing, and it kind of simplifies your brain. You don't have to worry about every little piece at the same time. So, all right, we ready, Gabe? Perfect, let's go for it. All right, and 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice. There we go. Some kind of stuck to you. That's really cool. All right, let's see what we've got on the end. Perfect. So this, it really does. It's starting to look like these clothes are kind of coming up. I think if we can get more clothes kind of coming from the bottom, that would be great. And let's get some colorful clothes in there. We've got this orange kind of like blanket here. Yeah, some reds and some greens. Why not? So it maybe doesn't look like it's just, I want to make sure that it doesn't look like it's just an extension of the clothes that he's already wearing. Yeah, we should definitely do that. If you want to take care of it, you can do it. You're the clothing stylist in this. We're going to credit you with clothing throwing stylist in the final image. So this is the sort of thing, during the photo shoot, this is a great time when you can try something over and over and over again, much like we did yesterday with Sarah. If you guys remember when we were using, well, you guys weren't here, but when we were using the cereal bowl and she was like slinging the milk over and over and over again to try to get the right frame. So Gabe, if you don't mind, I'm going to probably have you do this 20 or 30 times, just throwing clothes over and over and over again, and some of these are going to be like, oh man, that's awesome right there, and some are going to be like, nope, that sucks, we need to do it again. So whenever you're ready, let me know, and I'll do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Ready. Oh, actually, I thought of one more thing. I'm sorry. There we go. This almost clean, this is part of the story. This is still pretty full. So the whole idea is we have almost clean laundry detergent, and you are going to be using this to put this in the washing machine, but it's actually going to be in your hand, and it's like the clothes are like forcing it out of your hand. So I actually want you to spill this onto the floor. So you're going to be holding it in this hand, and you're going to be like, when we take the picture, it's going to be like actually coming out of the box. Okay. Can we do that? Yep, just like that. Perfect. Yeah. You did it! Yeah! Spill the laundry detergent.
With the button.
What was that?
This time.
Yeah, no, it's totally cool. That's exactly what we want you to do. All right, we ready for it? Ready. All right, we're ready. And then, so I'll say 3, 2, 1, and at the same time, Gabe can throw the clothes, and then you can start spilling. Is that okay, Sean? All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. There we go. Very cool. Let's take a look at that. Got a lot of action going on. And you could even bring that out farther towards the camera if you wanted to. So cool. So we've got some spilling action, which is totally cool. The camera is definitely capturing that. We could maybe throw the clothes more from behind, so they're looking like they're coming from behind. Or what do you guys think? Should we change the cereal? That's not a cereal box. Should we change it almost clean to the other hand so it doesn't get in the way of the clothes, or what? What do you guys think in the studio audience? We can try both ways?
I like it being in front like that, but I kind of want to see it like move forward. So there's more of a like stream to kind of suggest that it is moving forward. You know what I mean? So having like kind of go like that.
Perfect. and we're gonna make this photo almost clean, because basically no photos I take are completely clean. I love messes. I think they make things a lot more fun. Perfect. All right, Gabe, you're doing great. We're ready again? To gather the clothes? Yeah. All right. This is gonna be so cool. Right on. And we ready? I'll go ahead and count it down. And then if you want to actually, Sean, if you want to move like during the frame, like kind of like bring it actually forward, I think that would be really great.
Yeah, do you want to turn the box more so you can read it, or?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, perfect. All right, and let's go 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. All right, and let's see what we've got. Perfect. I think in this case it looks a little bit like, let's maybe take let's get rid of that guy. It's a little bit too big. It looks a little bit, you're doing a great job staying out of the frame, by the way. I'm gonna pump up this light just a little bit here in the background, so it's, our rim light, so it's gonna light up the clothing a little bit more. And I'm also gonna bring it more around to the front. That's nice. That's gonna help just kind of like accent all this clothes just a little bit more. And that's awesome. I didn't even see that. No one's focused on Hannah, and she's killing it over here. Awesome. And I think, Sean, what we want to do is, this one looks a little bit more like sitting up. So let's just make sure we're doing everything we can to make it floating. All right. And Gabe, if you don't mind, I'm just going to pull this actually forward just a little bit here. All right. There we go. We might be tied down.
No, it's just on a heavy sandbag.
Oh, there we go. I might be incredibly weak. That could be the other. All right, there we go. And I'm gonna pump up the power just a little bit here. We'll see how that looks. All right, and we do have a couple of options. We have wash and suds in bottle form, but we also have it in box form too. So if we decide we can do that, we have that option too. All right, maybe come back just a little bit more if you can. And yeah, if you need to readjust on the stool, that might be better. There we go. Perfect. And let me know when you guys are ready. Ready, Sean? Gabe? Yeah. All right. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. These are awesome. All right. So basically now it's like looking at these images and seeing what we like and what we don't like. I'm in love with this like actual detergent falling out of there. Maybe can we clean this up? Was that okay? Sorry. I feel like I'm making so much cleanup work this weekend for people. I apologize. Let's critique some of the other points. Lee, I think you're doing a great job back there. You look surprised, like you're like, what's going on? What are the other points? Mike, could we zoom into Hannah's face? Is that okay? Making sure our exposure and everything like that looks good. I think it looks awesome. All right, let's zoom back out if you don't mind. Do we have any comments from our audience? Yeah.
Let's see, Christopher B has a similar idea I was thinking of too, so we're on the same wavelength. Can the Almost Clean add movement to this in the spilling part? So maybe like when the laundry's like lifting him upwards and forward, there would be movement, so the Almost Clean would be like, whoa, kind of going backwards.
So he's like,
it would be like kind of spilling and making an arc of the soap suds spilling out.
I think Sean could manage that, yeah? So you're going to be, instead of just like spilling it like down, you're going to be like almost like swinging it up. Yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. What do we think about the clothes? Is it getting across what we want to get across at this point? Maybe, Mike, could you flip back like 1 or 2 and we'll just see? Like that's probably too much clothes, huh? We'll go backwards. Yeah. There we go. Cool. What do we think about this? Maybe it might look better if this door was closed. They wouldn't be spilling out of the laundry, out of the hole at that point. The laundry hole. I don't know what it's called. There's some like washing machine expert on right now being like, oh, technically that's a Wichita hole. But if we close that up, it might be a little bit less distracting, and then maybe it would look like instead of the clothes coming out of the laundry hole, they'll be, I don't know what to call it, they'll be coming out of the basket. So we can try a couple shots like that. Let's just try closing this up, and there we go. Cool. And then I think I want to try as well a couple shots where I think the pinning definitely does work, but I would like to try some shots without it pinned as well, just to see what those look like, because we really didn't try that. So you guys ready to do it again? Let's do it again. All right. So you're going to be kind of like flinging it up at this point. Miguel, you might want to close your eyes just in case. All right, and if you can get even farther back, maybe if you put your butt a little bit more forward in the seat, Sean, would that help, do you think? I know it's not easy. All right, how we doing, Gabe? Ready?
Great.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. That's awesome. Very nice. That had to have come together great. Let's check out what we've got. Very cool. All right. Well, we've got a couple. What was that? Oh, nice. Well, we're using frame compositing. We can totally take that out if we need to take that out. So we've definitely got a hand in here. Let's see. I liked this hand a little bit further down, and I did like more of a constant stream of the sud. So if we can't get that to be maybe like half the distance between what you were doing before and what we're doing now, what do we think? Any other comments on?
The stream looks cool.
The stream looks cool coming out here.
It's so high because it's blending.
Yeah, I liked it. Can we flip back one? There we go. I liked it here because I could see it. It would be almost cool if it was like coming out in this way. Yeah. Yeah, in that way would be cool. As long as like a lot is coming out, I think that's the way to do it. Right on. Let's try it again. We'll go back over here. All right. And then after this frame, let's try unpinning some of the clothes, and we'll try it like that as well. All right. Ready? Great, guys. 3, 2, 1, and go. That's awesome. I'm going to try holding our shutter down for this next time. So let's try this one more time. Basically the exact same thing as you did before. And this time I'm going to try holding the shutter down and seeing if I can get multiple shots. Now this camera only shoots like 4.2 or something frames per second, but I think we're okay as far as our power level goes on the light. They should be able to keep up. So let's go ahead and try it again, and I'm going to see if I can get multiple shots out of the same click. All right, ready guys? 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, I think in that case it was the tether that slowed us down just a little bit. Let's try it again if you don't mind. All right.
Full.
Oh, my memory card's full. Cool. Yeah, there should be more in my camera bag, John, if you don't mind.
Aaron, you will forever be remembered as the instructor who like always made the biggest messes on set. Just like bring more people in. There's going to be more mess. We just need more hands on deck.
If we could maybe go ahead and sweep this up while we're doing a quick memory card change, that would be great. Thank you so much. There we go. Yeah, I know. Everyone who works with me is like the same thing. It's like, oh, we never do anything normal or clean. And, well, at least we're not involving baby oil. A lot of my photo shoots,
Is it pre-formatted?
I pretty much cover everyone in baby oil. All right. Yeah, I'm going to format this card. And there we go. And hopefully this will not interrupt the process. You guys are doing great. This is so cool. You guys having fun? It's pretty awesome, right? You guys are you having fun, Sean? Oh, yeah.
Getting busy.
Getting busy.
Getting busy. Why is it taking long?
There's a cool suggestion from Gabri Photo in the chat rooms. How about Hannah acting like she is using the wash and suds like a magic wand or something? Like she's purposely getting the guy and the clothes to fly towards her.
You got it?
Yeah, you got
Hannah's
that?
like, yeah, I got this.
You are enchantment.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll just,
Battery.
there we go, that always helps. All right, let's check to see if we're
Yeah, do the
formatted here.
format before we.
All right, we are formatted. Cool. I can't wait to see what your idea is for that. It sounds, in my head, I'm like, how would you do that? But it looks like you got it, so I trust you. All right, and I think we're loading our tether back up here. All right, yes, that worked very well. All right, let me see if I can, so that's about the frame rate that we can go through. Now, if you guys want to click on, see these shots that I just took, I took 4 in a row. And although we are using these lights, the recycle time on them is just a little bit probably longer than what we're actually going to be able to see, than my frame rate. Which means by the 4th shot, you can see we're losing some of our light. Can everyone see that? Can anyone guess at which light we're losing? Can we, yeah, Mike, compare the 1st to the 4th. That would be great. Thank you. Perfect. Can anyone guess at which lights we're losing here? Anyone in the audience?
Is it the fill light in the back?
Definitely. The fill light in the back. That's set to almost full power because remember, we're firing into the wall there. So we can see what a big difference the fill light really does make in this case. It looks like we're losing a little bit of power as well from our strip box that's actually providing a rim for Sean as well. So the idea was cool to be able to just click and hold it down, but that's one of the reasons why we probably can't do it is the recycle time for our lights. So if you did want to battle that, some lights do have a faster recycle time, like the ProPhoto 8A Airs, which you don't have to buy. You can rent those for a photo shoot. So if it's one of these things where you have to shoot over and over and over again, if you guys wanted to rent gear, that would be a good way to go for that as well. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and do it again. All right, and I am ready whenever you guys are. So 3, 2, 1, and magic wand! Perfect. That's awesome. And can we get quite a bit more? Let's go, Gabe, a little bit from lower with the clothes, and then if we can do even more spilling, I think would be awesome, Sean. And let's try unpinning some of the clothes. What do you guys think?
Do we need to refill the box, or how's that doing?
Is it getting a little bit? No, it's fine. Okay, cool. Right on. Let's go ahead and Julie, would you mind unpinning just a couple of the clothes? Maybe just the hoodie where it's attached to his leg there. So we really do want you to be. I know it's hard because there's a ton of things to focus on, but like as far back as you can, so it looks like you really are, kind of levitating in there.
Could we do one with someone just supporting his head?
Well, we could do one with someone like standing there and holding you with a piece of clothes. Would that help out?
Just,
yeah, like whatever's the easiest.
I was just wondering if you lean back more and would that help you?
That's so nice. Nice. Take a picture of that. Yeah, we could do holding your head or holding your back with a piece of clothing because we want a piece of clothing there anyway. So we could, there we go. That's the final shot, guys. We did it. Today's over. Good job, everybody. Okay, yeah, we could do whatever. Is it uncomfortable to go back all that way?
No, I'll do it.
You got it? Okay.
Got it.
Cool. I won't ask you to do it for like incredibly long periods of time. What you could do if you wanted to is if you want to like lean back, I'll take a picture and then just come back on forward.
Okay.
Yeah? Perfect. Thank you, Sean. Perfect. All right, we ready? And let's go a little bit lower with the clothes throwing, Gabe. Perfect. We ready, guys? And 3, 2, a lot of spillage. 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice. Pretend that didn't happen.
Got whacked with the undies.
Very cool. Can we go back one? I accidentally hit the camera. I hit the shutter twice there. I'm going to change my mode so I can go back to single shot only, so it's not going to allow me to take 2 shots in a row like that. I think we've already proved that that's what we need to do for the shot. Awesome. Well, I think we've got, I was a little bit premature on there. We definitely want the clothes kind of like hitting up towards him. I think we've got, sorry, can we go back one more? There we go. We've got a good amount of spillage. I think that's probably about as much as is going to come out of the bottle, out of the box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we needed, we could make the hole a little bit bigger. You want to? Yeah, why not? Miguel, you want to make the hole bigger? Miguel's like, yeah, I got that. I make holes bigger all the time. There we go. And yeah, I think the clothes are definitely working. Perfect. Yeah, Hannah, you're doing great. That looks totally like you're using it as a magic wand. Yeah, so that, if I had to look up beckoning in the dictionary, this would be that. I'm beckoning. Perfect. How was it?
Smells pretty good.
Smell like
Smells almost clean.
almost clean? Yeah. It doesn't smell great, but it smells okay. Awesome. All right, now we're going to get a lot of spillage. I apologize, guys, for having to clean this up over and over again. All right, perfect. And Gabe, whenever you're ready. All right, perfect. And a lot of spillage. 3, 2, 1, and go. Maybe we'll come a little bit lower. It's probably pretty hard to do. So you knocked me off my off my stool. That looks pretty awesome, really. It's pretty wild. Let's do a couple. You can take a break. Sean, if you want to go ahead and stand up, you can take a break. Let's do a couple. We talked about maybe we can go ahead and sweep this in. And Gabe, if you want to just grab a couple of pieces of clothing, we talked earlier about having some of these items closer to the camera. So if you want to just grab a couple of these pieces of clothing and throw them here closer to the camera, we could choose to bring these in after the fact if we want to do that as well. Perfect. All right. Thanks, guys. We just had to spill washing suds. Doing all right? A little bit of a rest break? I know, it's like a pretty big workout. I did it for like 2 seconds on here and I'm like, oh God, that's hard. All right, you wanna come just like, yep, you're good actually there. Yeah, throw them on towards the camera. We'll do maybe like a one at a time kind of thing. All right, and 3, 2, 1, and go. Yep, you got it. I think I captured it. It was the most beautiful photo I've ever taken. Let's see when it pulls up. Yes. Let's get it maybe, yeah, coming back this way. All right, perfect. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Trying to hit me in the face with that. All right, that one will not work. Pretty much covered the whole frame. I'll take a picture when it's farther back. 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh, I don't think that went into my frame. If you want to just try for like right, yep, there we go. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. So these would be really cool because we could decide to put these into the frame later if we want to do these. We'll just cut them out and then place them right over top. All right. Maybe you can come actually in the frame if you want to. There we go. And throw it on towards me. There we go. Yep. 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. Let's try that again. If you wouldn't mind, we can just gather these pieces of clothing up and we'll just try throwing them again. This time if you want to be on that side and just kind of throw them off in this direction. So the goal here is to try to get some that are, you know, coming closer towards the camera, but not necessarily interfering too much with our shot. So yeah, I think smaller clothes like the one you're holding. Yeah, perfect. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. And yeah, maybe throw it out in this direction so I can get it when it's kind of over here. Perfect. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Very nice. Cool. Like that piece of clothing is actually really great. I'm going to talk about this for just a second. This last capture actually works really great because if we have Sean's kind of in the background there, and if this is kind of coming towards the foreground, that and maybe like another piece of two like here or here, we could then like kind of build that depth in. It's going to make it just a little bit more like, you know, there's a mass of clothing, you know, like coming from behind him, and that's what's making you float. All right, let's do it again a couple of times. It's like so crunchy on my feet when I walk. It's nice. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. And let's try this one more, and then we'll resume back. I just wanted to make sure everyone took a little break. There we go. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. All right. We ready again? Oh, yeah, right on. Let's do it again. Right? I feel like I do like a slippery dance on this weird stuff. Not good. All right, everyone watch your step. Please don't fall. I'll try to take a picture as you do though, and make it look really natural. How'd you make it look like it was actually busting his butt? It was real. All right, perfect. And we ready to go? Let's have these all come from pretty low, like where his butt is. You can actually come in frame a little bit more, Gabe, if you wanted. Yeah, come in a little bit more. I can always. We're doing frame compositing here, guys. There we go. So we can kind of like get his back and like under his legs in that sort of area too. All right, we ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. Hannah, are you still able to see directly into the light here?
Oh, no, there we go.
All right, there we go. Perfect. Just to make sure that'll fill your be the fill light on your face. Perfect. We ready again? Yep. Let's try it. 3, 2, 1, and go. I think that was a really nice frame. There we go. Perfect. So that was really nice for the back part of Sean. That's a lot of clothes like they're kind of like, it really does look like they're kind of like pushing him up, doesn't it? So I think that really does work for the back part of Sean pretty well. What we're going to need now is the under part of Sean too. So we could have you throw it both times, or we could get a second person in here throwing clothes. What do we think? Second person? Does someone want? Alec, come on in. You can do it.
There you go.
Nice. Do we have a bit more clothes we can use?
Clothes on the other side of the go aren't even really showing.
Oh yeah, totally. Good point. Yeah, we can do these too. All right. So these clothes, you're going to be basically like right about here, if you wouldn't mind, and you're going to be throwing these. So the goal here is to have. We need like a solid stream of clothing that's going to go from here, like all the way down here. So the kind of like a rim light of clothing. And yeah, Sean, you're looking great. If we can keep your Lee, can we zoom in on Lee? Lee's not getting enough credit back there. With the cat It's so good. That makes the shot priceless. I love it. That is ridiculous. All right, we'll zoom back out, but I just want to give you your due credit because that's amazing. Perfect. Okay, so I really liked earlier when we were starting out, when we had the right leg higher and the left leg kind of like down low. I thought that was really dynamic, but yeah, I think we're headed towards a really great direction. How do you guys feel about the shot? Can we get a little bit of feedback here before we start in with the two throwers, and maybe just a second from the internet? Any ideas anyone has?
You have the internet laughing right now.
They're laughing? Yeah. Perfect. So everyone thinks the image is funny. Perfect. All right, I need to move over some way. There we go. Perfect.
So Southern Belle actually has a good question. Why are you not removing everyone from the set? Aren't they going to be in the way? When you're just capturing just the clothing.
Yeah. For this shot, that's a really good question. So if you remember when we took some pictures of everyone, of the set with no one in the way. So let's say in this frame, let's say we decided to use this exact frame. Well, I know that I have a picture without this hand in here. I know I have a picture without Gabe's hand. So this is the whole idea behind frame compositing. It doesn't really matter that his hand is in there because I have another picture that his hand is not in there. So that's what we're going to be picking up tomorrow, is kind of like figuring out which of these frames we can use from one part of the image and which ones we're going to be using from different parts of the image and put them there. So as long as I have at least one image that I'm satisfied with for each part of the different final, it really doesn't matter. So Alec can be standing right there, and as long as I have a frame where he's not standing right there, I can remove him at any point in time. So great question, and that's kind of like the whole basis behind this, because we're trying to pull something off here. We got a lot of like clothes that need to fly under Sean, and obviously we kind of need to have people in set to like do it, but you couldn't do this without frame compositing. So that's the whole idea behind what we're doing here. That was a really good question. Perfect. All right, let's get to it. So this was really great. I love this like bunch of clothes, the amount there. So if you guys wanted to like trade secrets on like how to throw clothes in this manner, that would be pretty good. And yeah, and I think this spilling is really good. So let's go ahead and let's try taking a couple more shots and let's see how it goes. There's no real wrong way to throw clothes. It's all right in my book. All right, and whenever you guys are ready. Ready to rock? All right, in 3, 2, 1, and go. There we go, awesome. Perfect. So I'll just kind of demonstrate what we were talking about just earlier. So here we've got all these clothes that are kind of falling under. There we go. And Alec, you did a great job right out of the bat. All these clothes that are like on the underside and kind of like pushing him over. So I do have areas where we can see that actually Alec is in the shot. But if we decide to do this in the end shot, if we decide to use this exact picture, I know that I have images without that. So I won't have to do a very complex masking job. Basically, I'll just use a quick selection tool, select around his leg, and then use a frame before where his head wasn't right there. So it's going to be a very quick and easy job after the fact, which is very, very cool. All right, you guys ready to do a little bit more? Let's do it. It's going to be so cool. Hannah, you're doing great. I love all your faces. Very nice. All right, in 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. This is great. I love the clothes coming from both angles. Let's do it again. I think we're in it. And this is the point where usually I would crank up the music really high. We would be listening to something crazy, and everyone would just be going crazy with it. So if you guys want to like, sometimes when I'm on set, I'll usually have people like kind of like if they're supposed to be energetic, you can be like whoa, or you know anything that you want to do. I'm totally down for that. Hannah, whatever you want, you're doing a great job. So if you want to say anything, you can totally do that, or whatever you guys want to do. So just think of it like you're actually interacting. So we definitely want. You're doing a great job with spilling, and the clothes are really good, but we definitely want that interaction between the two of you if we can get it. So, kissy faces and like, ooh, faces, that sort of stuff is great. Oh yeah, reaching towards, yeah, do like a Sistine Chapel kind of thing. There we go. Nice. Let's do that. Perfect. Let's try something like that. Why not? That's where the fun comes in. And here, just to let everyone know here in the audience and the folks over at home, we're getting to the point where we're getting the image. Like this is the part where we've gotten almost all of our technical challenges out of the way. And so what we're going to be doing, opening it up really soon here, is we're going to be opening up to suggestions to anyone who's at home watching and anyone here in the audience, so they can say like, oh, I really want to do this. We've got the technical challenges out of the way, and we're ready to start having some fun. So let's go ahead and do it, guys. Get into character and let's make this happen. It's going to be awesome. All right. Ready? And 3, 2, 1, and reach for each other. My abs. Perfect. Let's try that again. You guys are doing great. I like the reaching towards each other. That's really good. Gabe, if we can keep the clothes just a little bit lower, I think that'll be good. All right. There we go. Do you need a refill at all, Sean? No. No, there's a lot here. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1, and go. Awesome. Beautiful. Hannah, are you still able to see directly into the light? Okay, perfect. Let's have you be like the beauty queen again in this one. All right. And we ready? Sean, I want you to really get back if you can this time. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Ooh! Nice. This shot is awesome. Oh gosh, that is so cool. Wow, very, very cool. All right, Sean, I like what you're doing. I think more of like a floating, maybe let's do less of the reaching towards, I think is really good. I love the ooh thing. The one thing that we want to do, Mike, maybe you can zoom in here, here with Hannah. The one thing that we do want to look out, and it's important to kind of, it's awesome. It's important to kind of keep these things in mind. It's like we're having a ton of fun, but there's a bit of a shadow here that I do want to take care of. So let's make sure we bring your hair from, down around the other side. You could bring the hair from this side forward if you want to do that. And with the wash and suds, instead of keeping it so high, maybe come down just a little bit lower so we can manage our shadows and everything like that. But yeah, so far it's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and do it again. Stay in the energy. I love it. All right. We ready? And 3, 2, 1, let's go for it. Beautiful. Let's do it again. And we get, I want the whole box spilling out this time. Right on. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Awesome. Very, very cool. Let's get this sweeped up, and let's go ahead and take some suggestions from the people here and from the people all over the interwebs. That is awesome. Oh man, you killed it.
I'm kicking her in the head though.
Oh, that is true. We could, we can solve that as well. If this is the frame that we decide we're going to wind up using, we can definitely solve this as well in a number of ways. We could move the chair back there. We could do quite a bit of things. So no worries on that. Let's take some suggestions.
So one suggestion was for the soap, was to put basically kind of a black card and just drop the soap in front of it to be able to like pull it on. Now, is that too much like element compositing, or is that something that you would do in this sort of situation to get the perfect soap flow?
The perfect soap flow. That's a great question, because that is a different type of compositing. That is element compositing. What we're doing here is frame compositing. I'm not totally opposed to combining multiple forms of compositing in one image. You can totally do it. In fact, we could do every single type of compositing back with this image if we wanted to do. We could get a stock picture that we found online of like some kitty cat or like the lol face or something like that, and we could put it on a poster back here as well. And that's yet a different type of compositing. So we can definitely combine those all into one. I think that, in my opinion, I really like the streams that we're getting here. To me, we're not really like missing out on anything. But if we were to feel like we were missing out on anything, then I think that would be a great opportunity to go ahead and start doing some of these things. Mike, if you wouldn't mind zooming in to the actual stream here. There we go. Perfect. There we can see. This is where another reason we had a lot of questions earlier about our shutter speed and using these strobes, and we can see that we are actually like freezing this action. It might just look like a kind of a wavy stream there, but we can see each individual one of these particles. We've got a tiny little bit of motion blur, but for the most part we can see all the little particles, and I think that really does help give it a lot of life. Cool.
Okay, I think that one of the biggest issues that everyone is been talking about a lot is the strobe in the background.
The strobe in the background.
And
okay.
we don't have a shot without that strobe there.
Definitely don't. This guy right here, is that
Yep.
this one right here?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, that's definitely something we want to make sure we take care of. The cool thing is we can take care of that at any point in time. Now, if nothing moved, we could take care of that in 3 weeks, right? Things will probably wind up moving, but we can keep in mind that when everyone is gone, we can just go ahead and push that away and then take a picture. We can just do it now. Well, it's not set up in a way that's going to swing really easily, but I will take care of that, I promise. I haven't forgot about it, but right now it's not really bothering what's going on in the shot because it's not getting in the way of anything, so we can take care of it. No, we'll take care of it soon. Yeah, we'll take care of it soon. Cool. Any other suggestions maybe on the action that we've got going on here?
Action, they would love to see, a lot of people want to see the laundry basket being kind of thrown maybe under his legs.
Yeah. You okay with that? The laundry basket thrown under his legs?
Yep.
Right on, yeah. So we want to throw like a cat in there. Oh, that picture of Picasso with the cats in the air. Does anyone have a cat we can throw in here too?
We have a cat magazine.
We have a cat magazine. We totally throw that. Although that kind of doesn't go with the concept anymore. And that's one of the fun things about compositing, but one of the tough things is like you get in it, you get in the groove, and you're like, yeah, let's throw all these other cool things in there. And pretty soon you lose the concept a little bit. So the laundry basket I do think does kind of fit. It's like kind of borderline because it's supposed to be the clothes that are rebelling, but why not? Let's put the laundry basket in there. I think actually at least having it in frame does make sense. So let's try that. And the great thing is, if we decide later on, if we decide tomorrow that, in fact, we don't want this laundry basket in frame, well, it's not going to be a huge deal. We can just take it back out. We can use a frameware that doesn't have that laundry basket in there. Totally, totally cool. All right.
One other suggestion was to have a levitating Wash and Suds bottle over Hannah's hand.
That's brilliant. Wow. Yeah, like the Wash and Suds is what's giving the power. Okay, so to do that, all we have to do, we could use some string to do that, or you could just throw it up in the air and I could capture it right in the air, and that'll freeze that motion too. So do we want to, I think we can time it. I think we can do 3, 2, 1. I think we can do a pour and having everything come up. We said we've got some string offset, but I think we can do the toss. And we can do a toss right in the air. What do we think? All right, I know you guys can do it. I've got faith. It's going to be awesome. All right. We ready? It's going to be ridiculous. Let me just take this a little bit off camera, just a bit. There we are. All right, perfect. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. That is so cool. We've got a really, really nice stream going on there. The clothes look great. The toss, meh. The toss wasn't 100% there, but I think that we could try it again. Do you want to try it again? Maybe let's do just like a little one, like a little like, kind of like.
Sorry.
Sorry. All right, just like, you know, so it's almost going like straight up. If you don't want to focus on that, if you want to focus on something else and say, you know what, let's do this in a different way, Aaron, that's totally okay, because we can literally, if we wanted a frame where you were standing there and I was literally standing here holding it like that, we could remove me after the fact. Like, that's the whole point of what we're doing here. So we can do this in any way you want. All right, beautiful. Are we losing our fill light a little bit? Let me just take a picture. It looks like, what was that? Maybe it was that light. Did we? All right, looks like we're losing our fill. Mike, if you wouldn't mind, can you compare? Oh, it was that light, wasn't it? So that one, it didn't fire. Okay, we had a slight misfire. Okay, cool. Well, that's another thing about doing this sort of thing, is make sure you keep an eye on, like, you know, I thought Sean was supposed to look better than that, and that's because we had a misfire over here. So not a big deal. All right, we can try it again. We ready? Beautiful. All right, in 3, 2, 1, and go. Throw some on him after again. Perfect, let's try it again. Let's try you holding it up. I think, or just do it in a natural way, however you want. And I like the ooh faces that you were doing. And then we'll come in a second when we make sure we're gonna flip through these shots with Sean, and then make sure we have one that we really like. And then when we're done with that, we can focus back on you again. Is that okay? Perfect. How much time do we have? Just kind of checking out.
I think about 10, 15 minutes.
10 or 15 minutes? Okay, that's perfect. We can keep doing this. I can keep doing it all day. All I'm doing is pressing a button. How you doing, Sean? Right on. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and go. Beautiful. That was some awesome. Yeah, let's do very similar to this, but let's do, you'll see it up here in a second. Maybe if we can do, yep, down and up. It's a lot to keep in mind, I know. All right, if we don't mind, let's try it one more time. All right, we're in the pursuit of perfection here. There we go. All right, you guys ready? Everyone ready? And 3, 2, 1, and go. Very, very cool. I'm loving these. They're coming out great. What do we think about the laundry basket in the bottom right? Do we like it, audience? Yeah? Makes it look a little bit like, okay, that makes sense. Perfect. I think if we could rotate your body a little bit towards the camera. Torso? Yeah, yep, your torso, exactly. I think that's exactly what we want. All right, let's try it again if you don't mind. We want to try it, maybe hand out some like, yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. And yeah, I think you're great. Maybe pull the hair back from, sorry, the other side. There we go. Perfect. There we go. And then can you rotate around towards Sean a little bit more? There we go. All right, love it. All right, perfect. What's that? Yep, that's perfect. Love it. All right, we ready? 3, 2, 1, and pour. Awesome. All right, let's take a quick break. Sean, you can come on down, and let's get you refilled, and maybe we can clean this up as well. All right. So let's look through these shots. I'm getting so. Are you guys getting hot?
Sounds good.
You're good? Cool. Let's look through the shots. So now is the point at which, during the shoot, this would be what's called like basically culling. It's going through the images and seeing what you've got, seeing the images that you like, seeing the images that you don't like. And this is a great learning experience. So we don't have to be done with the photo shoot right now, but we do want to make sure that we at least got the shots that we want. So we're going to go through them. We're going to take any final points that we want to learn from the photo shoot, and then we're going to look through them. So Mike, if you wouldn't mind, just flip to the left, and we'll talk about some of the things that we like. And as long as we have elements, you can keep on going. These are awesome. We want to make sure that we are looking like we're levitating here. And as long as we have elements that look like we are, all right. These are so cool. Nice. There we go. I think that, yep, there we go. I think that's a really great levitation shot. What do you guys think? It really does look like he's floating in the air. We've got a lot of clothes kind of coming up. If we needed to bring the hamper, we could do that as well. I think that looks great. Mike, if we could go back just a couple of more. Oh, sorry, the other way. Perfect. Keep on going if you could. So you can see our progression. It definitely got a little bit better as the day went on. We're getting a little bit better and better with our shots. All right, and here we're just throwing some clothes, so we can go on back there. All right, let's do a quick change. How much time do we have now?
About 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes? Okay, let's do a question and answer, and then after the break, we'll do a quick change, and we're going to focus all of our attention here on Hannah.
Great. Okay.
Sorry to spring that on you.
That is okay. Let's see. There's a lot just of suggestions coming in, and so that's what we are primarily getting.
There was one suggestion.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring up maybe for later, but somebody really wanted to see someone's face in the first washing machine.
They want someone inside of there.
Yeah, maybe as like the secret another secret element in the photograph.
Is this a reflection, or are we actually shoving someone in there? Because we were doing that earlier.
One of the fun things we do at
I know
Creative Live.
Celeste has been in there twice already, so what was that? Yeah, there we go. All right, I am totally down with that. If
It's
we
like
want
a
to put
face
someone,
plastered against the window.
it makes no sense with the concept, but I'm totally down with doing it. Do we have any other suggestions from here?
Yeah, if there's anything from in here. If not, so again, question about the back. The strobe in the back, that is something that people consistently are coming back to.
Yeah.
And so could you explain just one more time how removing that from it won't affect the light that is already there?
Okay, great point. Well, let's go ahead and just do it now. If you guys want to take a quick break, we can just head on out of set, and I'll just remove it right now. It's a great thing that'll take 2 seconds to do. So they're talking about this light here, and we can just, we'll wind up, swiveling around. Give me just 1 second if you wouldn't mind, John. So this light, the majority of this light, let's do a shot. I'll stand here. Mike, if you wouldn't mind taking a picture now. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this light off. All right, and then if you wouldn't mind taking a picture again, and then hopefully bringing those two up side by side. So I'll explain kind of like what this light is doing, and then why moving it is probably not going to wind up making that big of a difference. So we can see, if you could pull those up two side by side. There we go. It is affecting, the light obviously is affecting me. However, it's not really affecting the background of the image, and it's not really affecting the floor there. It's providing a tiny bit of fill, but it's not really affecting that much. The majority of what this light is doing is lighting this surface in here. So by moving this light, it's not really changing the light on the entire scene. It's just affecting whether this guy is lit or not. So now that we have a shot with it lit, we can go ahead and move it. Do we want to go ahead and do that, John?
Remember, it has a grid in it too, so it's not spilling anywhere else.
That's a great point. John just mentioned that light does have a grid in it, so it really is just hitting this area. So we can move it completely off of the, completely off frame. All right. Can we see it now? And let's try taking another picture now. There we go. Remember, we do have another light that is, in fact, behind the set that we can't see at all. There we go. Okay, so our other light that is completely behind the set. And now we're going to bring it back out, but all we needed was one shot. All we need is one photo with that light not being there. So now that we have that one photo with that light not being there, that's all we need to composite that back in there. So we can see, there we have it, and there we don't. And the light back there is the same because it wasn't caused by this guy. It was actually caused by the other light that's off camera. Good question. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, perfect. Perfect, and we'll turn this back on because it was providing just a little bit of fill back there. But the only place that I really needed the light to be not there was just in this area, right over the bulletin board. So, and now it's gone, just like that. Or we're taking pictures of a laundromat that just happened to have Einstein set up in it. Laundromats have that sometimes, right?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah, why not? Good questions.
Another question from the internet for you. Christopher B says, how many shots do you need to get an image like this, the one that you're working on?
How many photos in general? That's a really good question. Sometimes you'll get what you're after pretty early on. Sometimes it just takes a little while. Whenever I'm doing this sort of thing, and we are working with firm compositing, I tend to err on the side of more photos instead of less photos. That's just kind of like how I shoot. It's a lot easier to stick around for another 20 minutes and take another 15 or 20, maybe 30 more photos than it is to wrap everything up and then have to set everything back up if you do miss something. So and what I usually do during this period of time, like what we would actually be doing is taking a break during this period of time. I'll look through the photos and just make sure we are getting exactly what we want. And if we're not getting exactly what we want, we've got a break coming up, and I'm going to go through all these images just to make sure, do we have the right expression from Hannah? Do we have the right expression for Sean? And if we don't, we're going to work on just those little elements. But as long as we have one image where we've got Hannah how we want her, and we've got one image how we've got Sean where we want her, that's all we need. And then we're going to put those two together. Good question.
That is great. Sveni says, would it be smart to light and photograph each person separately instead of all at the same time so you can be more interactive with each person?
That's a good point. The reason why I wanted to make sure that Hannah was in the frame while Sean was in the frame, although during this last section we were focusing mostly on Sean, there was a couple of bonus points by having Hannah there. The first bonus point is she was still doing a great job. There might have been one of those, even when I wasn't directing her at all, that could be one of our favorite images. We just don't know at that point. The other thing is we want interaction between our two subjects. We want the interaction between Hannah who's standing here and Sean who's standing there, and that interaction can't exist if she's not here. So even if you've probably seen it before in a poor compositing job, or where someone's they're looking off over there and they're supposed to be looking at a person who's over here, or they're looking in the wrong place or in the wrong direction. By having both people in at the same exact time, make sure that they are going to be in fact actually looking at each other if that's what they're supposed to be doing.
Cool. All right, one more quick question before we head off to break, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Michael Porterfield is from Alaska asks, will you make the light more dynamic on post?
More dynamic. Great question. And that's a great question for a couple of reasons. First, when we were building our lighting, I was looking at this TV screen, which from my point of view has a bit more contrast than the final images do. So that's one of those things where I probably wouldn't have had to, normally you don't have to do that sort of thing. Normally you're actually seeing the images on a computer screen. So I wanted to err on the side of safety instead. But if we do want to make the lighting a bit more dramatic in post, we're definitely going to be doing that. So tomorrow during post-production on day 3, we're going to be bringing everything together, which for the composite, but we're also going to be doing some stylizing. So we're going to make sure this image, we're doing dodging and burning, we're going to be sharpening, we're going to be doing all kinds of really cool stuff to make this image really pop out. Good question.
Awesome. I can't wait to see everything come together in the final image prepared tomorrow. That'll be really cool. But in the meantime, we still have one more segment for today.
We do.
So what are you going to do when we get back from break?
Good question. Well, during break, I'm going to go through the images and make sure, like we said, we've got every single thing that we need to go. So if we've got an expression that's, just not exactly right, we're going to make sure we'll shoot specifically for that. We focused quite a bit on Sean during the earlier part of the shoot. We're going to get all those elements back in here, but we're going to make sure we focus on Hannah as well. And then we're going to get even more suggestions from the internet and try some different things as far as placement and whatnot here in the background, and make sure we have maybe Lee in a couple different places, just so we can kind of pick and choose whatever we want. And then we're going to bring everything together to do a very quick composite here right on set today.
Awesome. It's going to be really, really fun. Can't wait. One quick quote from the internet for you is from Christine Breslin, who says, I'm on my way to teach photography at the Greater Hartford Academy of the Arts. I wish the students could see Aaron in motion, especially his statements about being weird. Some of them need to see an adult dealing with those thoughts. How powerful would that be? So thanks, Aaron.
It's awesome. Thank you.
That is great. Bayos Photography said, the shooting just shows how much more work is required to pull off a shot like that. Too often the assumption is that you only have to click the shutter button a couple times and you're done. As you can see, that is not the case. Just in the same way that many of our clients look at what we do and think, oh, you just click a button and then you're done. In the same way, I've been having my eyes open to just how much work goes into a composite like this. It's not just take a picture of that guy, take a picture of that girl, and then put them in a picture together in Photoshop. It's a whole process. It's concepting, it's shooting, it's lighting, it's making sure that everything is consistent and that you have all of those elements that you'll need. And that has been reiterated over and over again throughout this workshop. So if that's something that you want to be able to do, if you want to be able to have those options and be able to remember those elements as you go into a shoot, before you go into a shoot, if you want to be able to prepare for your shoots the way that you have to prepare during the shoot for the final image, then this workshop may be a resource that you want to have available to you. If you do, it is $149. But if you buy it before the end of the workshop, we are offering it for $99. So click the Buy Now button right below our video stream if that's something you want to have available to you, and we will see you back in 15 minutes.
I'm thrilled to announce an upcoming week-long event here at Creative Live, June 3rd through 8th, Adobe Creative Apps for Beginners. The Adobe apps are the most powerful software for creative professionals in any field. That's including design, photo, video, web development.
This special 6-day event is going to introduce you to all of the most popular applications: Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Dreamweaver, and After Effects. On June 3rd, Jack Davis will start us off with an introduction to the power of design with Graphic Design Essentials.
On June 4th, Kara Plichinich will show you how to use InDesign to create a variety of print layouts with pixel-perfect accuracy.
On June 5th, Janine Warner will teach you everything you need to know to create simple websites using Dreamweaver.
On June 6th, you'll learn how to make beautiful infographics and icons with Erica Gammett's Illustrator class.
On June 7th, Lisa Snyder returns to Creative Live to cover all the essentials you need to start editing photos like a pro with Photoshop.
Finally, we'll wrap up the week on June 8th with Jeff Foster's class on After Effects, where you'll learn how to make simple animations and motion graphics.
If you're serious about your creative work, then the Adobe apps can be some of your most powerful tools. But there are a lot of them, and so it can be difficult to know exactly where to get started.
That's right, whether you do photography or graphic design, self-publishing or web design, join us June 3rd through 8th as we give you all the introductory lessons that you need to make Adobe an essential part of your creative process.
Would you like to join our team of experts live here in the studio? If so, fill out the form that you see and our producers will be in touch. But we'll see all of you online for Adobe Creative Apps for Beginners
right here on Creative Live.
Hi there, I'm Russ,
And I'm Kenna.
and we are happy to announce the Lighting Essentials series here on Creative Live.
During this 5-day event, we're bringing you 5 talented and passionate photographers who are going to teach you all about that subject that you know and love,
And maybe kind of fear.
lighting. On June 12th, come join photographer Lindsay Adler, who will introduce you to creating high-impact studio lighting with little fuss. Lindsay will introduce you to the basics of studio lighting and yet give you strategies for how to use those basics in creative ways. Along the way, you'll learn advanced effects, crafty ways for working with limited gear, tips and tricks for ensuring that your light is flattering and dramatic, and much more.
On June 13th, world-renowned photojournalist Rick Friedman will join us for an introduction on how to optimize natural light to create stunning dynamic images. During his 3 decades as a photojournalist, Rick has photographed everyone from presidential candidates to the world's brightest scientists and innovators. You'll master doing more with less equipment, understanding the light in a wide variety of settings, lighting locations quickly and on the fly, and more.
On June 14th, we are pleased to bring back Creative Live veteran Roberto Valenzuela. As you know, off-camera flashes can be a powerful tool for both creating and complementing available light. While they might seem overly complicated and stylistic, speed lights are actually an effective way to control flare and create glow. By simplifying the process and giving you a step-by-step formula, Roberto is going to eliminate your fear and give you the foundation that you need to be a better photographer.
On June 15th, join award-winning photographer Tony Corbell for an in-depth exploration of how light works and how it can be controlled to create dramatic images. Many photographers will test light as they shoot. Tony's methods will allow you to understand and plan the light before you even begin, giving you the opportunity to focus completely on your clients as you shoot and take your work to the next level.
Finally, on June 16th, join photographer Chuck Arland for an introduction to innovative lighting methods that result in breathtaking dynamic images. You'll build a foundation using manipulating strategies and reverse engineering tactics, transforming mundane situations with light, doing more with less equipment, and beyond. Chuck will give you the confidence that you need to fearlessly approach any shoot and walk away with awesome photos.
We couldn't be happier to bring you 5 amazing instructors who plan to cram this week full of knowledge, hands-on experience, and in-depth education.
We look forward to seeing all of you June 12th through 16th for Lighting Essentials here at Creative Live.
Hello, I'm Jack Davis, and I'm going to be teaching Lightroom 5 coming up June 17th through 19th at creativelive.com. Some of the things that we're going to be covering in this Lightroom 5 class is going to be, first off, how to optimize your image, how to get that perfect shot in terms of color, tone, and clarity. Next, we're going to be covering enhancing and special effects, because Lightroom is actually incredibly capable at doing everything from high-key black and whites, luscious sepia tones, even hand tinting without the need of Photoshop or third-party filters. Last, what we're going to be covering in this class deals with video. And now with Lightroom 5, you can not only enhance your video to make it match your beautiful print images, you can also go in there and combine your clips using the brand new slideshow video capabilities. Not only can I give you the steps to optimize and enhance your workflow, but I can tell you the whys behind the hows. Because if you understand what's going on and how Lightroom works, you're going to be able to come up with your own techniques, your own capabilities, your own workflows that will allow you to do stuff that nobody else can do. So whether you're a seasoned professional or a ridiculously enthusiastic hobbyist, this class on Lightroom is for you. With the quality, the flexibility, and the speed that's possible with a streamlined Lightroom 5 workflow, you're going to be able to do more than you ever thought possible before. We hope you can make it to Lightroom 5, coming to creativelive.com June 17 through 19. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm John Jantsch, author of Duct Tape Marketing, and I'll be teaching a free marketing workshop on Creative Live, June 26th through the 28th, and I hope you'll join me. I've installed the duct tape marketing system in thousands of small business. Service providers, product, retail, it doesn't seem to matter. When you focus on the right things, on the right customers, and on the right point of differentiation, this system works. In this workshop, I'm going to teach you how to build a complete marketing action plan in just 3 days. Day 1, we're going to tackle the strategy part. It's so essential to get that before we dive into the tactics, so you'll know where you're going and why you're going there. Day 2, we are going to spend the whole day on all of the online things that have become so important, but for a lot of business owners are very confusing because they're changing so fast. So we're going to nail that part of it. Now, on day 3, we're going to bring it all together. We're going to focus on lead generation, lead conversion, and on your customer experience, and mapping out exactly what you're going to do the next day and the next day and the next week. So if you're looking for practical, actionable strategies and tactics for your business, you are not going to want to miss this workshop. I'll see you in June. I'm looking for 8 business owners to join me live in the studio in San Francisco for this workshop. You're going to get 3 days of solid time with a really small group to work on your business. This is worth literally thousands of dollars. All you have to do is create a short 60-second video. Tell me about your business, when you started it, why you started it, and maybe a couple of your greatest marketing challenges. Then upload that video and tweet us a link and use the hashtag DuctTapeLive.
Welcome back to the final segment today on day 2 of Compositing 101 with Aaron Nace here on Creative Live. We're going to finish this out, but first of all, we're going to give away our final prize of the day, and we are giving away a Pro Compositing 5-pack from Phlearn.com. That is a $149 value. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Definitely. Well, basically everything you guys have been seeing today and yesterday have been during the photo shoot. Tomorrow we're going to take over and we're going to be doing everything in Photoshop. And we're going to be going through and showing you guys how to actually pull off these composites in Photoshop, both from yesterday where we were doing element compositing and today where we're doing frame compositing. In the 5-pack, we cover every single type of compositing that there is. It's a really, really great opportunity in 5 tutorials, each over 2 hours long. That's like 10 hours of amazing awesomeness. And someone's going to win it right now.
That sounds great. And the person who is going to win that, his name is Richard, and his Twitter handle is rmez002. That's MEAS. And the quote that they sent out was, "With frame compositing, you can focus on one part of the composition to simplify your brain." I think when we're doing something this complicated, anything you can do to simplify is happy.
I need it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So everybody out there, though, you can also be a winner by using the generously provided discount code that is good for anything at Phlearn.com, and that discount code is PhlearnCL25. That is good for 25% off anything there. So thank you for
awesome.
that. And everybody, go ahead and be sure tomorrow to keep tweeting, keep entering that quote contest because we have more to give away tomorrow. But let's go ahead and finish out the day. Aaron?
Right on. Thank you, Russ. Guys, welcome back. And during the break, what I did is I took a look at our images, basically seeing what we've got going on in the shot. And this is something that I will totally do during an actual photo shoot. We'll take a quick minute break and I'll look at all the images that are going on and say like, okay, I think we've got this element. I think we need to work a little bit more on this element. So what we're going to be doing now is, I think we're really, really close, but I would love to get our subjects back on set and we're going to shoot them a little bit more. There are a couple things that I do want to mention. Things like we had Miguel as a stand-in here providing some beautiful leg detail. Thank you, sir. And we have a lot of frames of that. So what we're going to be doing is we had basically go sit back down and we don't need those anymore. So if we decide we want that in the final shot, we've got it. If we decide we don't want that anymore, we're going to have that too. And he wasn't in front of anyone. Now, that's an important thing to keep in mind. Let's say that he was directly, like his legs were covering up our subject's legs, and if we wanted those to not be there in the final, well, in that case, we wouldn't really have that option because we wouldn't have information of that subject without legs in front of her. So we would either have had to try to combine multiple exposures to where we could get the top half of her and the bottom half of her from different frames, or figure out a different way with like clone stamping or painting it in from scratch. So those are things we don't really want to have to deal with. That's why we're making sure to keep each of these elements separate. So we've got this separate element, we've got a separate element here, and then there in the background as well. So we are going to be bringing our subjects back on. What we're going to do is we're going to focus in again directly back on Sean. We're going to be doing the same thing, throwing the clothes up and everything like that. And then after a few frames of that, what we're going to be doing is then focusing directly back on Hannah, and basically Sean's just going to be sitting there and he can, do all kinds of crazy things and whatnot, but we're going to take 20 or 30 frames where we're focusing just on Hannah. We just want to make sure she's, doing all kinds of different things. And what we're going to do, I'm going to stand up here and kind of direct Hannah, and then we might get someone to operate the camera and actually start taking those pictures. So it's a really good opportunity to say like, okay, here's the action where we did with both people, and then we're going to focus on just Sean, which we've been focusing on for the majority of this shoot, and then we're going to focus just on Hannah. When we're done with that, we're going to take these images, and I'm going to show you guys the culling process, where we're going to actually go into Lightroom and choose these images that we like, figure out which ones we like of each one of our subjects, and then pull them all back together here in right during the segment, and then we're it for the day. So if you guys want to come on back and hang out, we've got some our clothing throwers. We good? Yeah, come on up. Perfect. So we'll start the shoot. Thanks, Alec and Gabe. I appreciate it. All right. How we doing? Hannah, still good?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's just make sure you can see directly into that light, and then you'll be in the right place. Perfect. And we're good to go. We've got our spot here. So we're basically starting off same. You got a nice little break.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready to go again? Perfect. All right, so just what we were doing yesterday, guys, or it feels like yesterday, but it was like 20 minutes ago. That's what happens when you use your brain a lot. Okay. Oh, and the last thing I forgot to mention is we're going to make sure Lee is sitting in a few different locations back there as well. So you're okay back there right now. If you want to be, you can just continue to hang out, and then we'll switch you around as well. Just don't let me forget, because there are a lot of things to keep in mind. But we ready? I'm going to go ahead and start. We'll do a test shot just to be sure the tether is still going and all of our lights are still firing. That's an important thing. Make sure your lights are all firing and whatnot before you actually get people to do something. There we go.
I see a difference that, like you can see into the grid
We can see into a grid.
of the light that's pointing upward. It's not pointing into the light anymore. Remember, we removed this one.
Oh, we did move it, didn't we?
Yeah, so it's just going to come
There we go.
out like that.
Great, John. Thank you very much. All right. And remember from the last segment, we did take some pictures with that light not there at all, so we'll be good to go. All right, are we good to go? So we want, has it been refilled at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? It's heavy again. Nice. We don't want to make this easy for you. All right, so maximum spillage, and if we can, don't worry about, Sean, when I was looking through some of the shots, I saw that we were bringing that up pretty far. Don't worry about like coming up as far with it. Let's just like kind of like let it spill. Yeah, keep exactly a trail like that. Like keep it far down, because I really like when you had your right leg up, left leg down, and you were kind of coming at the camera just like this. And as I'm doing it here, I can understand how hard it is for you to do it. So go back, yeah. Right on. I really appreciate it. You're doing a great job. All right. We ready? Everyone ready to rock? And let's go for it. 3, 2, 1, and go. Awesome. And our goal here is to get everything correct in one frame. If that doesn't happen, not a big deal. That's what frame compositing is all about. But if we can, then that's exactly what we want. All right. Let's try to keep your torso towards me a little bit more, Sean, if you don't mind. And what we'll do is maybe have the soap just a little bit lower. I think another thing that would be great is if in between takes, if we could kind of sweep some of this out. It doesn't have to get super clean. Excuse me, just as long as it's not there. So if we have a broom or something like that, we just kind of sweep it off towards the camera. I think it's right around near the ladder. There's a broom over here near a ladder.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have the dustpan. It's the broom we're trying. Well, we have
the
big
broom is over here right near the ladder. There we go. So it's a lot of things to keep in mind during a photo shoot. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you can just do like a really rough, quick job sweeping it towards me if you want. I just want to make sure. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Nice. Touche. Put it where it goes. There we go. I'll just shut up and let you do what you want to do. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. All right. We ready to rock, guys? Perfect. And 3, 2, 1, let's go for it. Awesome. Same thing, let's do it again. I'm just going to pull this. There we go. We're going to pull this off there just a little bit more. All right. Wonderful. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, and go. Really, really nice. And if you can, Sean, if you can go back a little bit more, I know it's a lot, but if you can, that would be really great. Perfect. And let's go for it again. 3, 2, 1, and go for it. Very, very cool. We'll do it. Basically, the goal is just to do it over and over and over again so we can pick our images. Sorry. We're not really learning much during this period of time, other than the fact that sometimes you just have to do it a lot. All right, let's go for it again if you don't mind. There we go. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. And let's do, if you can face your chest towards the camera and do like a little bit more like a shocked expression, like, ah, like kind of like a what's happening to me expression. That would be awesome. All right, we ready? And 3, 2, 1, and go. Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and look through our images of Sean just to make sure what we've got. You can take a quick break. I'm going to pull this back around here. So I think I can go through Lightroom. I believe so anyway. So Mike doesn't have to do it. All right. There we go. And basically at this point, I would just basically want to pull through the images that we do have and see, kind of some of the teaching point. Is it okay where I'm standing right now? Yeah? Perfect. All right. Back up a step. Yes. You doing all right? Okay, here we go. We'll just hang out together. Okay, so what we're looking here basically is for certain elements in the shot. And Sean did an awesome job. I think some of these that we just did are some of the best ones. So we've got a really nice pour going on here. And what we're looking for are all those little elements. So we wanted, his right leg up, his left leg down, him pointing towards the camera. We wanted, his facial expression to be there and everything like that. So as long as I've got Sean basically, doing exactly what I need him to do, we can determine that now. And if we can check that off our list, then he doesn't have to do this ever again. So we're both kind of hoping, right? Crossing your fingers, that he doesn't have to do this anymore. So this is basically looking for all these different elements and making sure at the same time that it does look like he's being kind of like pushed up by the clothing. Now, if we did need more clothing in here, keep in mind we do have more photos of clothing that's not necessarily touching him, so we can always bring those in as well. So just kind of going through there, I'm just using the left and the right keys here in Lightroom to kind of look at, like something like that is maybe just a little bit less clothing that we want, but we can always add that clothing back because we do have those other shots as well. All right, and some of these we look like we're levitating more. That was actually pretty good. It definitely looks like he's flying there, right? Really, really cool. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna go, these are right back before the break, looking through some of these shots. There we go. And some of them, like that one definitely looks like a levitating shot, right? It looks like he's flying in the air. So we just want to make sure that we have exactly what we need. I think that last take we just did. I'm just going forward in time now. I think that's pretty much exactly what we want. I mean, the clothes are right there. The spill is right there. I think what do you guys think? Does it look like he's actually floating? It's pretty awesome. Let's just make sure that our focus is right and everything there, which shouldn't make a difference. This, you can see, is a reflection. That's actually from our gridded spotlight. And this is something that if we do need to take care of in Photoshop, which we probably will wind up doing, the easiest method to take care of that is probably using something like a clone stamp tool or a healing brush tool. So we're going to take care of that sort of thing tomorrow. So I think we got it. Sean, you did awesome, man. This is really, really cool. Thank you so much. So we got it. I'm going to have you stay here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change our attention. And I think, Lee, I think we pretty much every single frame of you is exactly what we wanted. Awesome, awesome job. So we got that as well. And then Hannah, I know we got a lot of amazing pictures of you, but because it's a little bit less of an effort, it's not like a huge deal for Hannah to do some posing and things like that. We're going to really put a lot of effort into making sure that we do get exactly what we want there. So either we can try having me on set and someone else taking the pictures if we want to do that, or what we can do is I can just direct back from the camera. So we're good to go. I think you guys are good to go. If we want to, Alec and Gabe, if you want to, everyone give them a hand. You guys did awesome. Clothing throwers. We'll just push this offset. There we go. All right, perfect. So we've got that element of the composite, and now we're just going to work on you. Not saying we don't have it. I just want to make double sure that we do. And this is a good time for you guys to kind of give that back and forth type of banter and things like that. And some of your faces where you were doing the ooh face, that was pretty much exactly perfect. So we're going to try some with this bottle, and then we do have a box as well. Let me grab this for you.
The box is currently full, maybe empty it a bit.
It's full. Okay.
Yeah,
we won't have you hold it long, but we also have a box of the Wash N Suds too. So okay, it's okay. I'll put it right over here, and then we can just change that out soon. Okay. So Sean, if you want to just kind of maybe scoot back a little bit in your chair, that'll make it look like. There we go. So he's scooting back, which is gonna effectively change the angle at which she's looking at him. So it'll look like you're farther back, but it's going to look like you're farther down. So you can just kind of hang out there. Perfect. All right, so Hannah, we're going to try a lot of different things. We're basically going to try you holding the bottle towards me. We're going to try some holding towards Sean, and some of the ooh face and putting the foot up and things like that. So ready to go for it? Perfect. Let's do it. All right. We'll just start off. If you want to hold it up, yep, just like you're doing there. Perfect. And look at me. Awesome. And then we can do the oh. Awesome. So we'll just do some smiling shots. Perfect. Making it look nice and clean. There we go. And then let's do some surprise shots. That's perfect. That's awesome. If we want to do the same exact facial expressions, look at Sean if you can. Sean, you guys can like banter back and forth, like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?"
What's the wet detergent? Oh, you like it?
That's way better than my almost clean. Big bright eyes. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's lower the bottle just a little bit. Perfect. There we go. Love it. All right, we're having, when you do shoot tethered, you guys take a quick break. I'll just, quick teaching point. When you do shoot tethered, it takes a little bit of a delay. It's a little bit slower than you would normally shoot. So if you're used to shooting at like a very fast pace, you do have to wait on your camera. So you'll just see like a big red light on your camera that basically says, "Nope, I'm not ready yet, so you need to slow down shooting." Which to me, I usually start off a shooting tethered so I can get all my lighting and I can look at it on an external monitor, but then I'll rip this cord out because I'm way too impatient for it. So I usually like to take a lot of photos and go through them later. But today, we want to make sure everyone can see them on the screen, so I'll be a little bit slower. But does anyone... Yeah.
Oh, quick question. Christoph B says, do you prefer to have like free posing from your models, or do you prefer controlling them to get exactly what you're looking for?
That's a really great question. Sometimes it really depends on what I guess the concept is. Sometimes we have like part of the pose will be part of the composite. In this case, that's not really as important. It was a little bit more specific with Sean, the posing. We kind of knew what we wanted out of there, and that was going to be kind of part of the composite. When it comes to other posing in this, it's not really as important because you might have other great ideas that I don't have. So I'm totally open to it in this case. I think it's more of a case-by-case scenario. What I prefer a lot more than posing is just totally acting, like to get actually people acting in a situation. That's harder to do when you're doing a composite shot because you do need some of the elements to be like kind of static, and you do need to place things. But I think in some ways that's the best way to have people actually pose instead of like stopping. I really love it when people can actually like act through things. So like when you guys were talking back and forth, I thought that was really, really great. So good question. And if you guys wouldn't mind, Hannah, we can talk back and forth again. Perfect. Let's go ahead and change you out here. If you don't mind, I'll give you this Wash N Suds box. We can retire the bottle here. If it's too heavy, just let us know when we can empty that out too. But I think it's nice having them both be boxes. Perfect. There we go. And that looks really good, actually. I really do like the box there. Okay, perfect. If you want to go back and forth, and Sean, if you want to start hitting on her, that's... What kind of detergent you got there? Mine's better. If you want to look at the camera, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. And big bright eyes. There we go. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yours box says heavy duty on it. You want some of that, Sean? Perfect. I'm nervous. Her detergent is far superior. That's awesome. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, perfect. Maybe up like a little bit less high. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, and we're gonna take a quick break because again we're shooting tethered, so we have a little bit of a delay here. Perfect. You guys are doing great. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're basically going to do exact same thing we were just doing with Sean, and I'm going to do the same thing with Hannah here, just kind of going through our shots and making sure we have kind of the poses and everything like that we do want. So this is part of the culling process. And if we do see something that we like here, either during the shoot or directly after the shoot, usually I'll go through and then we're shooting in Lightroom here. So I'll choose something by flagging it by hitting the letter P on the keyboard, which is for pics. So if we do see something we like, we can just flip through it pretty quickly and then hit P as we go along. So you can see our progress bar on the top left is still importing from the camera. That's why that's why we're taking a break right now. There we go. Perfect. All right, so some of these shots are probably going to be the best shots of the day because we're really focusing in on, you know, what Hannah's doing, and I think that interaction you guys were given was really nice. All right, cool. Well, it looks like we're good to go here, and everything is in fact loaded in. So we're going to just flip on back forward, and then I'd love some input from you guys as well. Like, you know, what are some of the shots you like? Do you like it with her leg up or her legs down? What do you guys think? I like that, yeah.
I like just the crook leg.
Yeah, I agree, Todd. I think that's really nice. I think that looks really good. That's awesome. All right, and what do we think? Do we like looking towards our subject? Let's go back to where you were looking at Sean. What do we think? Looking at Sean, or do we like it looking towards the camera? Towards Sean? Yeah?
Yeah, it depends if you want it to be campy or if you want it to be, you know, intimate. That's more, you know, intimate. But when she looks at you, it's like it's an aside to whoever's looking at the photos. We get what's going on here.
Exactly. That's a really good point. Gabe, did you have a comment?
I was grabbing the microphone just in case.
Prepping it, nice.
Everyone on the internet says Sean, looking at Sean.
Looking at Sean, okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, you agree as well? Yeah, of course you do. She should be looking at me. Totally, and that is totally a choice whether, and I'm totally open to, you know, everything that you guys are suggesting. That is a choice that you'll have as far as what you want the photo to say. You know, in a lot of photos, if you want it to look a little bit more realistic, obviously she should be looking at Sean. If we do want it to look more like an advertisement, you know, like, you know, Flo in the Progressive commercials will turn around and talk to the camera itself. And that's kind of like what this says.
Do you plan on cropping out the tripod in the back next to the basket or clone stamping it out?
The tripod from the back of the basket?
Like right to the left of the basket?
Oh, good point. I'll go ahead and zoom into that so everyone can see what we're talking about here. Yeah, we've got a light stand here that's actually supporting all of everything right above us is just supporting. So we can't really move it. That was here part of the set. We didn't place that in there. So in this case, we really don't have the option of moving that and taking another picture. So we can either crop it out or clone stamp it out. That's not really that hard of a clone stamp job. So what I'll probably do is wind up clone stamping it out. And you know, basically you can clone stamp in here from the right over to the left on the boards, top to the bottom with these boards, bottom to the top over here, right to the left over here, right to the left over there, and then left to the right over there. So we'll probably take care of that tomorrow. That's a good comment because I didn't even see that in there. So definite. Good suggestion. All right. So everyone's saying towards Sean. All right. Now all we have to do is basically look through our images and see, like, you know, what do we think about like the bottle versus the box? Does anyone have any comments there? So we have the bottle and we have the box. The box, it's like bigger, right? It's like bigger and it kind of like nails the point home a little bit more. Yeah, I think I agree. What do you guys think?
Yeah, box.
The box? Okay, cool. Plus it matches your box of Almost Clean, which is perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
That agrees with the box.
Everyone agrees with the box.
Everyone loves the box. Yep.
All right. Well, this is, I hope that everyone can see like what an important part of the process this is, because we're still here during the photo shoot. These are the times in which we can actually make these decisions. So we just made a couple decisions. We decided as a whole that we like it when we're looking right at Sean. Well, Hannah's looking at Sean anyway. And we like the box instead of the bottle. So those are like two pretty important decisions we made about what's going to be the final shot right here during the photo shoot. So without taking that time to look at those, I don't know that we would have actually like been able to make those decisions here on set. So we'll just take that bottle right out of there. Perfect. Thank you, John. And there we go. And now we know what to work with. That's pretty awesome. You've got some really good facial expression. I love this sort of stuff. If you could like do this sort of thing like right towards Sean, I think that would be amazing. All right. Well, let's get started. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more of the shooting. These are going to be so cool. Let's do a little bit more shooting, and then we're going to be doing some light compositing here. I'll go ahead and put this back. There we
Aaron,
go.
as you go back to shooting, there were a number of people who are asking where your focal point is for these shots.
Good point. So the focal point for these shots is still directly on Sean. Now keep in mind, I'm shooting at 35 millimeters here, and we're shooting at f8. So earlier we looked at the focus on these images, and at such a wide angle, shooting at f8, really almost everything in the shot is in focus. Even Lee, who's in the background, she's maybe 8 to 10 feet behind our subjects. She's in focus too. Actually, Mike, if you wouldn't mind, if Mike is in the booth, being able to zoom in on Lee there. There we go. And we should be able to see she should be in focus as well. So even though we're focusing on our subjects that are here in the foreground, she's in focus all the way in the background. So in this particular case, it doesn't matter as much as some other photo shoots where you're maybe shooting at like 2.0. Good question. All right, perfect. Now we got it. So we're going to be looking at Sean, and we're going to be hanging out, and we've got the beautiful box of Washington suds. Ooh. Can you give Sean the ooh face? Ooh. There we go. And the leg slightly crooked. I love that. There we go. Ooh. All right, let's hear your best, Sean. Can you hit a? What's that?
We're not watching or listening.
No, we're not here. Just pretend like we're not here.
You want to watch my jeans, please?
Let's have maybe the box, instead of so close to you, maybe like hold it out a little bit more. What do you think? Let's do like hold it out on the sides maybe. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then you could be offering it towards him. Actually, you know, I liked how you had it before, to be honest. Yeah. Let's try earlier with the bottle. You were kind of like cradling it almost. Yeah, there we go. That's really nice, actually. And then maybe rotate towards Sean just a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, let's try it for sure. There we go.
Rearrange the alphabet, put you and I together.
I think that one worked. The whole internet just fell in love with Sean. Perfect. Perfect. Let's try cradling it like maybe down lower. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful.
What, near the box?
Nice. Now we're getting into it. Love it. Could you maybe like bend over a little bit towards Sean as well? There we go. Beautiful. And bring your face around towards me just a little bit. Make sure you're still looking at him. There we go. Ooh. I love it. Very, very nice.
I'm almost clean.
You're gonna have to come over here.
Is that rotating involuntarily?
No, it was my fault. I was reaching for...
You don't like me anymore?
I do.
Awesome job. You guys are doing great. Let's just make sure that I'm looking at some of the shadows and everything like that, just to make sure our shadows and highlights are looking good. There we go. As they're coming in, we can just see. Is there anything that anyone is concerned with the images coming in? Or is everyone happy with the lighting especially and the posing? That is gorgeous right there. I love that shot. I think that might be the one. Just remember D2237, everybody. Let's look back through these. And if that's the shot, then basically that's the whole goal. I don't want to keep you guys up here longer than we need to. That's not my goal. Oh, a fan? Yes. We're going to like blow your hair. It's going to be magical. Okay. I've officially decided we're going to do this at least one more round because we've got a fan in here. It's not the highest powered fan ever, but yeah. It is, yeah, going to be awesome. And do you guys, has anyone used a fan on a photo shoot before? We have? Can you tell me, Todd, what about some suggestions with using a fan?
Well, I started off using a regular fan like we're using today, and I quickly gave up because the girl's hair was rather long and heavy like this. I use a leaf blower.
Yeah, electric leaf blower?
Yeah, electric leaf blower.
I have one too.
Yeah, it works really well, and it's very directional. If not, I've also used a blow-it fan. I forget, John will know the... Yeah, it's made for drummers, and so it attaches to drum stands. It easily attaches to light stands.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Is it blowitfan.com? Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
And it's very powerful for the size fan it is.
Or air movers. If you look for air movers that are used for drying floors, they're small ones that do a really.
Yeah,
like
but I really like my $30 leaf blower. I really, honestly, it's pretty awesome.
Is it a little bit loud though? The ones I have are pretty loud.
Yeah, I mean it's electric motor. It's a loud bit. You know, you crank the music and nobody cares.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Did we just blow a circuit?
No, I just turned off the fan. It's just turning it off. Just pop the flashes.
Oh, okay. Let's just double check on this. Alec, would you mind hitting that? To me, at my studio, whenever that happens, that means you blew a circuit, but I guess it didn't. Okay, cool. Just a power switch. Yeah. Miguel, did you have a comment about using a fan?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I bought one at Home Depot, and it's a really small fan, and even on the lowest setting, I mean, it will blow thick hair like that. The only challenge is that it dries the model's eyes out, so you have to take a lot of breaks.
Keep the fan moving while you do it, so
I kind of move
in
it
one spot.
back and forth, and I've tried it a couple of different ways, but it blows so hard that you usually have to give them a bit of a break or they go blind. So
good suggestions all around. Well, we'll take those suggestions, and John, if you want to come in, and we'll see about blowing some. Well, I'm not even behind the camera anymore. What am I talking about? All right, first let's go through these images. Then I'll come by. I'm going to stand up here and be like, just blow her hair. Come on. All right. So let's look through these. We can do this for a couple of reasons. First is actually seeing what we like. But if there is a specific pose that we really do like, we could basically try to get the exact same thing going on now with some fan movement in there, which is really, really great. Another thing that you can do if you are looking at just a certain part of your image, you can change your zoom level. Let's just hit tab real quick. In here in Lightroom, this is a quick Lightroom tip. You've got a 1:1, which will zoom all the way in as a 1:1 ratio, 2:1. But you also have a couple of other options like a 1:4 ratio. And what this will do is it'll just zoom in like a quarter way into your image. And when I'm looking at one specific element, but I want to make sure that I do see, if you want to get rid of those things up there, hit I, by the way, and that will give you different information on your image. One time will give you this, twice, and then a third time. So when I'm doing this, usually I will do something like this so I can make sure I'm zooming into my image. I can actually see what I'm going to be working on, and I can still flip back and forward. This way you can actually see it's just a little bit larger in the screen, and you don't get distracted by some of the other elements in the screen. All right. This is really good. I love the ooh face. The ooh face is, I think that might win it. And I'm going to hit I again just so we can see. What was it, 237? Is that what we decided? There we go. Drew our eye again. The ooh face drew the eyes. So the 237. I think this is a really great pose. What do you guys think? It's dynamic. She's holding it. Your legs look great. We've got some of the rim light here as well. I'd love to talk about this. The rim here on her legs, this is like a good thing. This is a byproduct from our light that's back in the background. So we didn't necessarily plan this when we set up the light in the background, but it is providing a nice little rim, which is helping to celebrate. It's Celebrate Your Legs Day. Separate your legs from the background, and in this case, it really does help out. So I love this pose. Do you think you could do that again with the fans? Sure. Perfect, let's do it, and we'll do this one more time, and then we're gonna be done with the shooting process, guys. There we go, let's make sure that's down there. All right. And John, come in as far as you need to get it going. Oh, that's awesome, actually. You look like a superhero already. Can we get the ooh face going on?
Is that all you got?
Maybe we can come more from behind, John, so some of the hair is kind of coming out this way, too. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. I love that. And can we get some shots maybe of it? We can go up and down so it gives the dress some movement as well. All right, not too much movement. It's not that type of photo shoot. That's very nice. Very nice. Actually, come more from the front. What I'm seeing is just, it looks really great, but I'm seeing a little bit of a shadow there from the hair and from the head. I'm just gonna pump up our fill light just a tiny bit. Are you still able to see Hannah directly into this light? Perfect. All right, we're gonna bump up our fill just a tiny bit. Perfect. I like what that fan is doing. What do you guys think? Do you like it? It's pretty cool. Good suggestion. Whose suggestion was that? I forgot. Probably John's, because he's the man. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, and then blowing the dress. If you can stay still, what we can do is composite your top half with your bottom half. Perfect. So let's get some of the hair and then down in the dress. Gorgeous. Maybe open your mouth a little bit bigger, like, ah. Can we do like a Vidal Sassoon, like yeah, oh, so nice. Chin down just a little bit more, and look right at Sean. There we go. Ooh, so nice. There we go. Wait just a second for the camera to buffer. There we go. We're gonna wait. Sorry. Wait about 20 seconds here, letting the camera come in. What do you guys think about the hair so far?
I think it's
Yeah, let's get Todd, if you can pass the microphone over, if you wouldn't mind.
I was just going to say that it kind of sells the motion of the clothing.
It totally
it's kind
does.
of like a wind sweeping and it's kicking up her hair. So yeah, it'll sell the final image, I think.
I totally agree. It really does give some life to it, and yeah, it does. It sells that effect that like the clothes really are sweeping over there. That is awesome. Yes, perfect. Just like that. Keep those up, Hannah, and we're gonna make some amazing, amazing images out of this. Some of these are getting a bit seductive. Gorgeous. All right, let's try it again. One last shot, and then I think we've got it, guys. Yep, perfect. All right, all you've got. This is the ultimate ooh face. Eyes open really big for me. There we go. And we can maybe open your mouth just, there we go. Perfect. And shake your head back and forth just a little bit. There we go. Gorgeous, gorgeous. John, great job. Super natural. Good face. Now give like a super cute face, like almost like a pinup style face, like. There we go. Very nice. Hannah, you're doing great. All right. And back up on her face. There we go. And open your mouth, big smile. Open your eyes as well. I'm sorry, I know it's hard with a fan. There we go. Perfect. All right, we can go ahead and put it down and let's look through those images. Awesome job, guys. Very, very good. Okay, so we're gonna look through our images now as soon as they're coming up together, making sure we got exactly what we want, but I really do think we do. I do think we got everything that we wanted. What was that? Okay, no worries. So I do think we got exactly what we want, but I definitely want to make sure here on set, before we break everything down and we say good job and everyone changes out of the clothes, that we did in fact get it. If there's just a small little thing we need to fix, it's a little bit better just to do that again rather than try to like cheat it in Photoshop. So I hope that's a good lesson for everyone. We're kind of finishing up our second day of shooting, and again, we've talked about this multiple times, but when people hear the word compositing, they think Photoshop, Photoshop, Photoshop. But like, I think really the key, especially with my style of compositing, and a way to get a really great realistic composite is to spend the time in camera, spend the time during the photo shoot, get those elements right, and then your job in Photoshop is going to be a lot easier. So I'd love to I have a question for you guys if someone wants to grab a couple microphones. What do you guys feel about compositing now? After watching these photo shoots for 2 days and seeing the images that we get, kind of with your knowledge of Photoshop, do you feel like a little bit more confident with the ability to do a composite, even though we haven't even gone into the Photoshop? What do you guys think? Gabe?
I feel way more confident doing composites now that I know how much just prep went into this, just the lighting, everything like that. Before, whenever I would do compositing, I think I would use too harsh of lighting, and it just makes for a tough job in the end. And like I've already got a couple ideas in my head for when I get back home just to start compositing again. So I'm really excited to see how these turn out even.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. And yeah, from here, basically what we're going to be doing is like simple using layer masks. So it's the Photoshop part of it's not really going to be that hard. Does anyone else have a comment about compositing after watching the shoots?
Well, I feel like I have a whole new respect for all of the prep work that's going into the composite. You know, people say it's really easy to just do it in Photoshop, and I don't think that that's true. So thank you.
Good comment. Good comment. Todd, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, as I'm looking at the shoot today, especially today versus yesterday, I already know the skills that I know that I can do this already. What I didn't know is what we did today. So I already know the Photoshop part, and now I have enough information where I could tackle something like this, I think.
That is awesome. And that's a great point. And that's what I wanted to illustrate to everyone who's here and to everyone at home. It's like you probably already have the skills to do great composites. You just didn't know you had them. Because we're going to be using simple layer masks here, which a lot of people already know how. And if you don't know how, that's something that can be learned in 20 or 30 minutes. So it's just taking each of these little pieces together and then putting them together. Do we have any comments from the internet about their newfound...
We absolutely do. Aaron Will has a great comment. He says, I've already learned so much from Aaron. I was good with Photoshop side, but this really solidifies the photo shoot side for me. Makes me really think about it in a more organized way.
That's fantastic. And Indiana Jones apparently says that this is a gold mine of new ideas. I'm rich.
Nice. I love it. Indiana Jones, you found your giant golden statue.
And then Sergey Nganze says, I can't wait to start shooting now that I've watched this workshop. I've always been hesitating about compositing, but now I can do it with confidence.
That is awesome. I'm so glad, guys. That really does say a lot about, your skill level and having that confidence and seeing this all come together. We can all say that, like, yeah, I could totally do that. It's really not that hard. Just showing you guys the individual steps, the planning, starting off with that sketch and knowing what we want and bringing it to this point. And then tomorrow, it's really just going to be simply putting it together. It's going to be very cool. All right, let's look through these shots and make sure we've got what we want, and then we're going to work with Lee just a little bit, and then we're going to see what we can do here in Photoshop. All right, so I'm going to zoom in just by clicking, and again, it's on a quarter zoom. If you want to zoom in a little bit more, you can change that. Just hit the tab key, which will bring this up, and you can choose from a quarter, you can choose from an eighth or a third. We'll just zoom in a little bit more. Mostly we're going to focus here. You can hit tab key, hit the tab key again, and that'll go away. All right, perfect. So we can just kind of look through here and see what we've got. Now, other things like if we did have a shot like this that we wanted, but maybe we wanted Hannah's hair to be like a little bit more full, like there's a little bit of separation here, maybe I wanted another strand there. That's a different type of compositing, but we can totally take care of that tomorrow in Photoshop too. So that's actually not a real big deal at all. You look like a superhero there. Look at that. It's awesome. And the color really does work together. Complementary colors, we've got the red dress, we've got the blue and the yellow on the wash and suds. That's, the triad of colors that works together well. Really does a good job there. These are awesome. I have no doubt that we did get these. So we can decide how much we want to go on the silly side or the campy side versus, you even have some more seductive shots in there. They're just really, really great. I know we've got enough here to make this amazing, amazing image. So guys, you are good to go. Sean, awesome working with you. You just did a great job. Hannah, high five. Awesome, awesome job. Guys, Thank you so much, and I am so excited about these images. Wonderful, wonderful. And Lee, I haven't forgotten about you. We're going to have, Lee is our unspoken hero of this photo shoot. Is there a broom? I can just sweep this up real quick, if you don't mind. Take the fan and blow it. Perfect, thank you very much. Okay, cool. So we're just going to sweep this up just a little bit, and we're going to have Lee, if you want to go ahead and change seats, maybe sit in that. Yeah, let's leave the plants and everything like that where they are. We're just going to clean up the floor real quick here. Lee's going to change positions a couple of times. We're going to take those shots. Now, does anyone else have any suggestions? Someone said they wanted to put someone inside of this washing machine, which I am definitely not opposed to. It doesn't make any sense as far as our final image goes, but I'm not opposed to it. And throughout this weekend, we've put at least 3 people in there already that I know of. So if we want to do that.
We did have suggestions for Lee. One of them was that basically we would have multiples of Lee looking at each other as basically twins hanging out in the laundromat.
That's a really cool idea. Now, would we want, if we are doing twins, do we want them wearing the same exact clothes? Because then it would look like a clone, or do we want them wearing different clothes? Then it could look like a twin thing. What do you guys think about that? Was it worth the clothes change, or? Yeah, some people say yes.
I actually, now that I'm looking at the time, I don't know if we have time for a clothes change.
Okay.
But, so maybe we just go with the clone.
Yeah, perfect. Or we could just throw a jacket on or something like that.
Yeah, that's
perfect. Okay, cool. I love the idea. Just to be sure that everything is going to wind up being in frame, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this out of frame, just to be sure. And you guys can tell me, is this okay right over here? A little bit over. Just way over. There we go. Perfect.
Hey, Aaron, instead of a full clothing change, one of the shots, Lee could just take her sweater off.
That is a great idea. Love it. Perfect. So we can do as a just in case there, and let's go ahead and move these over. I just want to be sure, because I'm looking at what's going on here with Hannah, and I want to make sure if we are going to include that we have enough room to do so right back there. So what we're going to do is we've taken this element out here. We've just put it over there. Now we're going to move both of these chairs over just a bit, if you don't mind. We're just going to move them over so that they are then in frame, as well as our milk cart. Perfect. And the best way to do this, guys, is I've done this type of thing where you create multiples of the same person. The best way to do this is actually to use 2 different people. So do we have someone who wants to be our volunteer to sit here? So what we're going to do is have someone in, maybe just, Hannah, would you want to come back in? Do you mind? Yeah. Shoes or no shoes, really doesn't matter. She's not going to wind up being in the final, but what it does is it gives Lee something to look at and some interaction there. That's why we want someone else here. It doesn't sound like it would make a difference, but it does. So we're going to have you actually sit right here in this seat, and you're going to be just kind of looking at each other. You can do facial expressions back and forth, and then I'm going to take a couple pictures, and then you guys are going to switch places. Okay. So what we'll do in the final is we'll just take Hannah out completely and just use both versions of Lee. Does that make sense? Because you guys are about the same height.
But talking or
Yeah, talking or looking at each other, or just saying, hey, how's it going? Or you could show her something in Cat Monthly magazine.
And a suggestion from Tim R. Athens was to have one of them look shocked at what is happening and have the other one looking confused, like she doesn't see it and is wondering why she's reacting that way.
Shocked and confused. Brilliant. All right, Hannah, can you do shocked? And Lee, we can do confused? Wait, are they looking at Cat Monthly or are they looking at the action?
Oh, so one of them is looking at the action and the other one is looking at the twin who is looking at the action because they don't see the action.
There we go. Okay, so Lee, pretend like you're looking at the people who would be there, and then Hannah, you could just be looking directly at Lee. Perfect. That's a really good shocked face. Love it. Okay, let's switch positions over. And then we can have Lee, if you wouldn't mind putting on your sweater shawl. I'm not a clothing expert. I'm not sure what that's called, but we can have you switch positions. And now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking directly at Hannah. And what we'll do is we'll switch it out so it'll look like you're both people in the end. But hopefully people could, without the magazine this time. Yes, good point. Okay, and then so now Hannah, you're going to be looking at the action, and Lee, you're going to be looking at her. There we go. Perfect. So we can see now how easy it would be to take one person from one frame and another person from the other frame and just kind of switch them around.
Cool.
There we go. I think we did it.
Actually, one more cool
Yeah.
cool idea from the internet just came in from Shade K. Says, I would have one reading the magazine and the other tapping her on the shoulder and pointing at Sean like, look what's happening over there.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we can totally do that. Okay, so, yep, exactly. Hannah, we can be reading the magazine. There we go. Perfect. Lee, you're doing awesome. Hey, look at that. And Hannah, you can kind of be looking back towards Lee like, what do you want? There we go. And let's switch positions. Okay, and then Lee will have you take off the sweater again. And then now you'll be holding the magazine. And then Hannah will be tapping on your shoulder. It's a lot to keep track of. All right. And so Hannah will be seeing the action at this point, and Lee will be looking back at Hannah. Okay, perfect. Beautiful. I think we got it.
Or have her. I think the suggestion was to have her reading the magazine. So the one that's tapping is trying to get her attention away from the magazine.
Okay. Away from Cat Monthly? Why would you do such a thing?
I can't imagine. I have no idea.
There we go. Okay, let's try that. Perfect. The most awkward tapping. It feels like you're being really rude, Lee. You know? Like on purpose, not looking up. All right, we got it. Perfect. And now if we want to, just that interaction, we can take either the hand of Hannah and replace it with Lee's hand later, or just the finger, or even just the shadow if it turns out that way as well. Great suggestions.
I think we're good.
Perfect. How are we doing on time?
We have about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes. Perfect. Well, I can go through the images and we can choose our picks, so that way tomorrow we're ready to go, and I think that'll be a really good wrap for the day.
Yeah, people are really interested to see how you cull all these images from the day.
How we call the images from a day. Perfect. Well, before we do that, let's give a round out for Lee. Awesome job. And Cat Monthly Magazine. Awesome job. So you guys can stay here if you hang out if you want to, or you can run off set, whatever you want. Make sure to take some Fruit Loopies with you if you go. Those are awesome. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk through culling the images from the full day of shooting. And generally I do this relatively quickly. We're just gonna go ahead and zoom back out because it'll be quite a lot faster on the computer if you start with the zoomed out. My culling process is something that I've developed over years of doing this and the compositing background. But it's not something that is necessarily like unique to me, or you guys don't need to use this process. It's just something that I tend to do. And I tend to do my culling, and basically culling is picking the images that you like. I tend to do my culling in a couple of different steps. So I do the first round, and that's kind of like a rough cull. I do the images that I'm like, yeah, these are pretty good. Then after that, I go through and pick the ones that I like even more. And once I've narrowed those down, I pick the ones that I like even more from that. So the first round, I generally just use pick. And if you guys are using Lightroom, which do a lot of you guys like Lightroom? Okay, perfect. I think it's kind of like the preferred program for shooting tethered and going through your images. So P will pick the images. You can hit Shift Tab here. We can see that if I hit P on this, we can see it actually says flag as pick. If I hit G, let me just make the images just a little bit smaller here. There we go. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I just want to show you that when you hit P on an image that you actually do get a flag. So this on the top left here, it becomes a flagged image. If I hit P again, then the flag is a pick. If I hit U, it becomes unpick. So P is for pick, U is for unpick. All right, let's go ahead and just zoom in right to this image. And usually I don't need any of this stuff visible. I don't need the film strip on the bottom, my navigator, or anything like that. So I'll hit Shift Tab, and then those things will all go away. I can just look at my images. So let's go ahead and start from these images. I love the suggestions with looking down at the magazine. So I'll say this is a pretty good one of Lee. So I'll hit P for that, and we'll switch it over. And now I want an image of Lee. I like the one. I don't necessarily like where she's looking. I like it a little bit more where I can see her face, and that's kind of interesting. So I'm gonna hit P on that one as well. So we've got those two flagged as pics, and now we're going to continue to go through them. Now we've got a slightly different scenario. We're going backwards in time right now, and we've got a different scenario of her kind of like looking at the action. There, I think it's more interesting. That is not as interesting as that, in my opinion. So I'm going to hit P on that one as well. And then we're going to go back to the right, and what we're looking for is, there we go. What we're looking for is this right here, where she's going to be looking at. So we've got two different interactions between two different Lees, which is very confusing. But the other cool thing to note is that we actually have two different versions of Hannah in this as well. It doesn't fit the concept at all, but if we wanted a Hannah in the foreground and two Hannahs in the background, we could do that too. So we're getting a lot of options. And does anyone remember like from earlier when we actually had a clock on the wall? Well, we still have pictures of that clock. We shot that like hours ago, but we still have that picture of a clock. So if I wanted to put that back on the wall at any point in time, I can still do that. So let's go back and going back in time. I love this. This is just really nice. I love the legs. I love the movement in the hair. Going backwards in time, this is really nice. I love, that compared to that, it's a pretty obvious choice, right? The hair blowing really did make a difference. And John, that was an awesome suggestion. The hair really came out cool, and good job blowing it. So we're going back in time. This with the shoulder up, I think is a little bit better, and the hair back. So we're going to flag that as a pick. So you can see I'm kind of flagging a lot of picks. I'm loving this. This is a little bit too, in my opinion, for this shoot, it's just a little too silly. I'm not opposed to silly, but I think for, when we have other shots like this that are just so good and they're not as silly, I think these win out over the silly ones. So we're going backwards in time now. And there we go. Now, I notice also that, here we go, for that shot right there, you can see John spending a little bit of time on the dress. So the dress has a little bit more movement in there. So I can hit P for that, and then I can choose that for just to be the dress. Now, if I'm going through these and I'm looking at different things, I'll also sometimes work on a numbering or a color system as well. So for extra details, you have numbers 1 through 5 on your keyboard, which will flag as 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. But you also have different colors as well. You can see there on the bottom right, right over here, we have a red flag, which is the number 6 on your keyboard, yellow flag, which is the number 7, and a green flag, and so on and so forth. Oftentimes, I'll develop a system where I'll keep like the extra detail flag. So I'm going to hit the number 8 right here, and that's going to set this as a green. So if I have an extra detail, like I hit this as a pick, so it is an image that I like, but I'm also hitting the number 8, which is setting this as a green. So that means that this is an extra detail pick. So I remember when I'm going back through, I'm like, why did I pick this? I don't like her face as much in the other ones. I'll remember, oh, I didn't pick this because of her face. I picked this because I like the detail in her dress. And you don't need like a dress flag and this flag, just an extra detail. If you usually keep the same, same system going on, that's cool. You don't have to write it down. But if you want to just write down green equals extra detail, that's a good way to do it as well. So we'll remember that for here. All right, there we go. And that's a pick as well. And notice that this whole time, I'm not really looking at Sean at all. So I'm still doing picks, but I'm doing them for Hannah. When I'm picking picks for Sean, I'm going to use the pick as well. But instead of hitting 8 for the green, I'm going to hit 7 for the yellow. So I'll know those are picks for Sean. So it sounds pretty complicated, I guess, actually. But it's using picks to see these are all the images that I like. And then I'm using color flags to say I like it for this reason or that reason. All right, so going back in time, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit because I think we've got some great picks there of Hannah. There we go. And all these are, there we go. Looking really good. We'll just say that I might actually have gone through and picked these. I'm just going to kind of skip over them so we can go ahead and get to Sean so you can see my my culling process with him as well. So going back over left, we really did take a lot of shots, and I'm glad we did because we made a lot of really great decisions. Remember earlier we went from looking at the camera with a bottle to looking at the other subject with a box, and I think that was a really positive thing we went through as well. So going back over to the left, this is kind of funny. I really like sometimes like loading these into QuickTime Player, and you can make like a slideshow out of them. That really, like, this is pretty funny, right? It really is funny to see all these go through. One of the cool parts about taking a lot of photos is you get all these frame shots. Okay, so this shot is really great. So we're gonna hit P on this one, and I'm gonna hit the number 7, which is gonna label this as a yellow. So this is basically, it's a pick, but I'm liking it for Sean. Now in this mix, I might find a pick that I like for Hannah as well, and I could choose to flag that with the number 6, which would be red. So in this case, I'm choosing these colors like kind of arbitrarily, but if you were keeping notes on this, you could do this. This isn't like a huge photo shoot, but if you had a photo shoot that maybe lasted several days, and we're doing a composite that's going to involve 3 to 5 people. If you were doing something that involved 20 or 30 people, you would want to really have your picking system nailed down and your color system and everything. Like that's pretty good. So I'm gonna hit P, and I like that. Sean is okay in that, but I really like what Hannah's doing in there too. So I'm gonna hit the number 6 on that as well. All right, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna hit P on that one as well. And there we go. We've got, this is basically showing the lighting. Remember when we moved that lighting, the piece of lighting there? I think we had a frame with it completely out. Did we not?
Yeah, you just passed it.
That one?
Yeah.
But we've got John in there.
But it's not in the way.
It's not in the way, is it? All right, that was a kind of a lucky shot. But now we're going through it. If we hadn't gotten that shot, like if John wasn't in the exact same place, I could just do it right now. So we're doing this still during the photo shoot. So I'm going to hit P. Does anyone remember the color for extra details? Green, right? Which is the number 8. Perfect. I was guessing. I'm like, 8. Yes, that's correct. Perfect.
So, Aaron, as you're going through these so quickly, some people have noticed that the scene seems to be moving a little bit, like the camera was moved a little bit during these shots. Are you at all concerned about that, or is that something you'll just fix?
That's a great point, and they're totally right. The camera did move a little bit. The best way to do it, like we kind of did earlier, was to have to do a remote shutter where we could actually shutter it, fire the shutter here. This is obviously like, people have been moving all around, multiple people have touched the camera. As long as we're not talking about some big movements, if it's a little movement, like here, the camera's like, it's just moving ever so slightly from frame to frame. Photoshop does a really good job with aligning those frames after the fact. As long as it's like, very, very close, like these are, they might shift up and down a little bit and things like that, but we're not like moving the camera up 2 feet or back 2 feet. As long as they're pretty close, Photoshop has an auto align feature which will bring everything right back together. And that's how we're gonna start off this composite together. We're gonna take all of our pics, we're gonna load them up into a stack into Photoshop, we're gonna auto align them just to make sure that they're exactly in the right place. Great question. All right, this is a great pick, and I'm gonna hit the number 6 because I really like Hannah in this one as well. All right, and there we go. I like what Sean's going, the spill and everything like that looks great there as well. Okay, and going back through these. Okay, I think, yep, there we go, we did flag for that. And now we can look for a pic with Miguel and his foot in the front. That looks pretty good with one arm, so I can hit P for that, and number 8, which will be an extra detail. Oh, and then remember we threw clothes at the camera too. And it's really cool because I'm glad we did this in the middle of the photo shoot. Sometimes these cool ideas that you get, you kind of forget to do them. I don't think if we had thrown these clothes at the camera in the middle of the photo shoot, I don't think we would have remembered to do them now. I wouldn't have anyway. Maybe someone else would have reminded me. But I'm glad that we did that now. So we can bring in these, like here is, and we can also cut these out and move them around if we need to do that too. Like if I wanted to cut that out and move it further down, we could do that as well. So we'll just hit pick on a couple of those. Maybe I like, something like really high, like those jeans on the ceiling. Maybe they're a little too high in this case, but we can always decide on that later when we're actually bringing everything into Photoshop. There we go. And continuing to go back in time here. All right, and here we're working on our lighting, basically getting that color in there. So I'm going to hit P on that, and 8 for an extra detail in that as well. So we've got, I don't have to worry. I just need the light from this frame only, and I don't have to worry about whether it's on or off or overexposed or underexposed in any other frame. I'm only worried about that one right there. So that's why we took the time. This was over the break. And that's Alex. Can we zoom in to the man right here? That was really nice. He's totally hiding. But but he did both versions of him as well. And I'm thinking that we should combine those tomorrow. That sounds really cool.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Let's do it. And remember, before we started, when we came back from the break the last time, this was basically a completely blank slate. So we're going to hit P for that one, and we're going to hit 8 for the extra details as well. So notice I'm hitting pick, but it's pretty obvious in this one. I'm not picking this because Sean looks good, but just in case, like sometimes you'll notice like little details and things like that you want to keep in. All right, so we're continuing to go back in time, and we're really almost done here. We've got some pics of Hannah we really like. We've got some pics of Sean we really like, and we're here back towards the beginning of the photo shoot. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to filter these by pics. So what we're going to do is go down here to our filter, and I'm going to click on this flag. There we go. I'm going to hit the G key, which is going to load up all of our images. Let's just get this guy going to disappear there. And there we go. So these are all of our pics. These are all the pics from the entire photo shoot. So we did a great job of this photo shoot, and we've come up with these are all of our favorite images. And you can see each one of those that is flagged green. Remember, those are for our extra little details. Oh, you know what? We forgot out one thing. What was that? I didn't pick one with Amanda. Let's go back in time. All right, so we have to unfilter the pics, and we forgot one other detail. Does anyone remember what it is? Clock. Yeah, who said that? Todd, nice. Exactly, the clock. So there we go, and that's an attractive time on that clock. So I'm gonna hit P for that one, and 8 for the extra detail. And let's make sure we have one of Amanda. There we go, we've got one of Amanda where she's not obstructed, and I'm gonna hit P and the number 8. Do you have a question?
I do. When you get moved Lee over, do you need to take another blank shot of the set for the chairs that move over?
For the chairs that I move over?
These 2 chairs that came over more, do we need to take another one, or does it matter that you moved those?
That's a really good question. I think because we did it at the very end, we can decide to use those or not use those. If we decide to not use those, we do then have something else that was covering those chairs up before, like those chairs weren't even there. It's never a bad idea. So right now, I mean, we could just literally like click that button. Alec, if you just want to click that button, then we got a blank shot of just the chairs. So it's never a bad idea. In my head, I don't think that we need to do it because we have a shot with nothing there, and we also have a shot with Lee right over here as well. And the shot over here, we've got something that's actually covering up where those chairs would be. So in my head, we don't need to, but thank you for reminding me. It's never a bad idea to check, it's just, in this case, it's just one extra click of a shutter. Cool, good suggestion. All right, let's go back, and so we picked one of Amanda and the clock. So let's filter by our picks. So we've got here, and now you can filter by your picks, and then let's go all the way to green. So we can click on this as well, and these are all of our extra detail shots. So we can see, like, these are all of the things that I want to make sure that I include. This one, I might maybe want to make sure I include Amanda, and this one maybe I want to include the clock. This is our everything shot. This is the shot of just the light bulb. So it comes pretty easy to remember to do these things. You can see that it shifted a little bit, the camera, but Photoshop will be able to align those back into place. This is our shot with Miguel in the foreground. This is our shot with no light there in the background. And this is our shot with, I don't remember. There was one, the blowing of the dress, which was that extra additional detail. Okay, and then if we wanted to, we can turn those back off. And there we go. So these are our picks. Yeah, there we go. So our green picks and then our yellow picks were of Sean, and then we didn't choose to color code the picks of Hannah because they were, I think they're pretty apparent because there was really nothing else in those. And then from those, what I'll do is, this is something I just started doing relatively recently. If I want to choose the shot that I like the most of Hannah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift click on at least 4 or 5 shots at the same time, and then I'll hit the N key in Photoshop. And if these are too small, that's something that maybe you can pick fewer of the shots, but then I'll cull out some of these. So just by looking at these, it can be a little bit hard to see which is my favorite, but like the hair, I think I like the best. The hair and the pose, I think I like the best. Usually I'll start with one that I don't like as much. So I'm going to hold down the Command or Control key, or you can just hit on this little X, and then you can compare 3 side by side. It helps if you have a large screen for this, so you can actually see the details. If you don't do it in this way, there we go, and then comparing these side by side, I like the one on the right a little bit better. So there we go, we have a winner here, and then you can hit the number 5, which is going to 5-star it. So we've picked from all of our shots, we've picked which elements that we liked, and then we've compared them side by side, and then we've got a 5-star, which is this photo here. Perfect.
Fantastic. Absolutely love it.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you for taking us through that process.
Perfect. And there's one more thing that I think can help people out if anyone does have any questions. If you want to see things side by side, you can shift-click 2 different images and hit the C key for compare. And we've been doing this a lot during these last couple of days, comparing them. This you can even zoom in. If you click, you can zoom in. They're going to go to a 1-to-1 right now. But if you go right over here, just like we did earlier, let's just pull this back out. You can still tell this to be a 1-to-3 ratio, even in the, there we go, even in the compare. So we're going to hit C. There we go. And now we've got a 1-to-3 ratio here. Let's just hit the Shift tab back out. So with this compare tool, it's really nice because basically you're comparing the one on the left to the right. And what do you guys like better? Do you like the image on the left or the image on the right? You like the one on the right a little bit better. I agree. So you hit the up key, and then the image that's on the right becomes the image on the left. So now you're comparing the one that you like to a new one. So now we're comparing, do we like the one on the left or the one on the right? We like the one on the left. So instead of hitting the up key, which would upgrade the one on the right, we just hit the right key, and that switches to the next one. So this is a really good way. What do we like better, the one on the left or the one on the right? Still on the left. All right, let's switch over to the next one. Still on the left, probably. Over the next one. Ooh, I like the one on the right. Yeah, so we're going to hit the up key, and that's going to upgrade that one. Let's look at these two. One on the left, still a winner, isn't it? There we go. What do we think? Left or right? Left. Yep. Left or right? Pretty close, but I like the left one too. We've got like a happier versus a stronger. I like the one on the left. I think it's great. So this is a pretty quick way. We've eliminated a lot of shots by doing this pretty quickly. It's just, instead of having to think of like, how do I pick the best out of these 20? You just pick the best out of the 2 and then just keep going with it. I still like the one on the left. We're going to keep going. Oh, notice I like the one on the left, but the one on the right has my 5-star rating that I chose earlier. So you can use multiple different culling techniques. Let's just un-5-star that one, and then we can go back over here and 5-star that one, just to make sure that's the one that's got the 5 stars now. And we can go back through, and now we've got our 5-star rating of Hannah. So I can hit G, which is going to bring up all of our grid view, and we can be sure of all the images that I like of Hannah, that this is the one, this is the winner here. Pretty cool, right? Didn't take too long. We went through a lot of images, and we found our winner pretty easily. And basically, we would just do the exact same thing with Sean as well. So, pretty cool.
You just made that so easy.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that people were like, we took so many pictures, how long is it going to take to go through those? And 10 minutes?
10 minutes maybe.
15 minutes?
Yeah, that's with explaining it. So if you guys are just doing this by yourself and you're just kind of going through, just go pretty quick. Trust your gut on it. Go left and right, hit P on the ones you like, don't on the ones you don't. You know, make sure you sort by just the pics, which you can do right down here. You know, filter by flag, and then bring up, shift-click 2 of them, hit the C for the compare tool, just upvote the ones you like and skip the ones you don't.
Right on. So now that we have all of these images chosen and all of your images picked, what are you going to do with them tomorrow?
Good question. Well, tomorrow I'm going to go through a little bit of file formatting and kind of like folder structure and things like that. Those things aren't incredibly exciting, but once you build a large library of many, many photos, you know, if you are in 6 months of taking photos, it's not going to be as important. But after you take photos for years and years, you're going to have hundreds and thousands of photos. So I'm going to go through and show you guys how, like our cataloging system, how we use it in our studio, which has proven to be very, very great. And I'm sure here at Creative Live, you guys have a really, really awesome cataloging system too. So I'm going to be picking your brains about it as well. So I'm going to show you our cataloging system, and then we're going to go through tomorrow, go through all of our pics. I'm going to show you how to bring them from Lightroom, how to export them out and get them into how we're going to be editing them in Photoshop. bringing it all together in Photoshop and combining the images, not only from this photo shoot, but from our photo shoot yesterday as well. So we've got 2 completely separate images using different compositing techniques that we're going to be bringing all of it together tomorrow in one day. It's going to be amazing.
That is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. We want to thank everybody out there for joining us for today, and we want to thank everyone here, and especially our models, Hannah, Sean, and Lee, for sitting in and doing all the fun things that we had them do. We, of course, want to give a big thank you to Mr. Aaron Nace for today as well. We want to let everybody know, remind you that Phlearn is generously offering a discount, 25% off of anything in their store. The way you get that is by using the discount code FLEARNCL25. So be sure to take advantage of that, and that will be good through June 3rd. We also have our photo contest, which is still ongoing. We will be picking the winners at noon tomorrow, so you need to be submitted by noon tomorrow. Just be sure to pick your favorite picture using any type of light, studio, strobes, or natural light. Enter on Facebook. There's a Facebook contest button, so make sure to enter there by noon tomorrow.
Awesome. You know what I have absolutely loved about this class the last 2 days is that yesterday I was here in the studio learning from Aaron live on how to do composite photography, something that has been kind of scary and intimidating to me and something I've never even tried. But yesterday I couldn't even remember and memorize all the essential details of what he covered. So yesterday I went home and I watched the rewatch because I needed to glean more information and have more time with the material that he taught so I could learn more so I can continue to grow and learn in my photography skills. And tonight, you bet I will be watching the rewatch again because there was so much covered here today. All the lighting, how to create a sketch and make that come to life, how to work with the models, how to work with different people on set, different energy, bring in other people's concepts and ideas. It was just so much fun, and I can't wait to learn some more going through the material a second time. And all of you out there in the internet, I bet you feel the same way that I do. So I know that last night when I tuned in, I saw some of you guys this morning had tuned into the rewatch. So I know you'll be watching the rewatch with me again tonight. But Aaron has taken this entire concept and